And we're live.
Yes, we are.
Hello. Oh, let me pull the chat up.
Do we see who's
Hey, Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
hola?
Hola. And let's see. ¿Cómo estás?
¿Qué tal?
¿Qué tal? Oh, goodness. We realize that we are in conflict with Mexico Relocation Guide tonight.
Mm-mm.
So
She's in conflict with us. We
Well,
always do it.
that's true.
I mean,
We always do ours on Wednesdays, and she doesn't do a regular live stream. So it just happens that it got scheduled on the same day. No big whoop. I mean, anybody who wants to watch hers live can always come back and watch this recorded.
true.
Yep.
Or vice
Hey,
versa.
hi, Jenny
And Stephanie.
and Stephanie. How are you?
And
I'm sorry. I keep bumping the table. I'm so sorry. The table's wobbly.
Yes, it is. It's
It's not an earthquake, I promise.
no.
No, not at all. Okay, well, last live of the year. We were like, what can we talk about? We could talk about a lot of things, but it doesn't matter what we say we're going to talk about because we end up talking about everything. Every time. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Jesse. Oh, wait. Let's pull this up for a minute. Yeah, I let Mark comment on this. I saw that too, and I was like, really?
The hard part there is being a Tar Heel fan and also being a Panthers fan. That Super Bowl in 2004, right in the middle of Spygate. I swear that there was some cheating going on, but then now he's coming down to NASCAR country where if you ain't cheating, you ain't racing. So, I mean,
really? That's how that goes?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. If you're not pushing the envelope,
I see.
Yeah, I know. Belichick. It was like, it's either going to be a monumental change to the program or it's going to be the biggest flop in history. We'll see.
And Terry, hi. What?
Hola.
More info about Expat Spanish? Please tell us. What info do you have?
Does he have info or is he asking for
Are you
info?
asking for info? I was actually enrolled in level 5 and I had to drop out. I'm going to have to join level 5 in the next grouping because the second week of class, I was literally starting a new job. And so now we're on week 3 and I just said, this isn't going to be able, I can't do it.
Until she can get a grasp of how
Right.
the whole thing, it's sort of one of those.
I'm literally, I'm in 5 weeks of knowledge sharing with this team before they set us free. So I've got a lot of learning and a lot of meetings happening and I can't do the class. So I'm hoping I'll get into the next session of level 5. Nivel 5.
See? Ola Lambden.
Can you talk more?
And Michelle.
Asking.
And
okay, so Terry says asking more about it. Okay. We really should do something with Amy, another stream.
I know that she is about to ramp up after the beginning of the year. She's going to ramp up her YouTube channel, and I did have a conversation with her that she was like, the first thing she wanted to do was do a collab with us on her channel because we did the one on our channel.
Yeah.
And which we're more than willing to do because both of us have expanded our knowledge of Spanish tremendously through Expat Spanish. So cost,
isn't it something like, was it around $300 per
I think it was
level?
I think it was $299 a level.
Something like that, but we do have a code you can use. It'll
10% off.
Will give you a discount, although it's my understanding that the discount is only applicable if you're doing one level purchase. If you try to purchase multiple levels, it won't work. So you have to purchase a level and then you get to use the discount code. It's easy. It's GRU, Gringos R Us 10.
Yeah, GRU 10.
I'll type it. But what can we say about it?
I have completed level 6, and after the first, it helps if you show it to them. Oh, that's right. It shows up over there.
It's right there. Yeah.
Never mind. Honest to God, this is the first one.
I'm drinking kombucha.
Yeah, I've done. Well, I didn't start with level 1. I started with level 2, and I finished 6 levels, and I'm about to do. There's a new one that they're calling 6A. Why they're not calling it 7, I do not know. But 6 advanced, and I'm going to be doing that right after the first of the year. And it's interesting because you don't think that when you look at it, you go, there's no way I'm going to be ready for this, because if you look at it or hear it, you're like, and yeah, there's still moments where, senior moment, this word that I learned back in level 2 or level 3, the palabra just isn't there, and it's like, but overall, the vocabulary and the ability to structure sentences and do rapid fire, because that's what, as you get further in, that's one of the things that they start doing. And Denise, there will be classes where for 10 minutes it's just rapid fire random questions that come at you that you just sort of have to go,
let's try
boom.
to give a little structure on it. So it's basically you get homework and you're expected to do the homework. It's not a lot. He doesn't do the homework, but it's usually just like a vocabulary sheet, some exercises, and then the answers at the end. And there might be some PowerPoint slides and things like that. The PowerPoint slides will show up in class. So it's always good to look at those ahead of time. And then you get into class, and the first 3 levels, I want to say it was the first 3 levels, were in English and Spanish. But then by the time you get to level 4, it is all Spanish. I'd say 75% of the time.
75% of the time.
And level 5 is all Spanish. And level 5 is more of a reinforcement of level 4, just at a higher complexity. You also get
in a more rapid rate.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing that they start doing, and I think it's brilliant, is because we all know, even though we don't understand what they're saying, we know it's coming out fast. I mean, it's rapid, and so the pace starts to pick up, and you find yourself actually able to comprehend more the deeper in you go. So yeah,
I'm trying to remember. I think levels 1, 2, and 3 met once a week.
Yes, they did.
Online.
Yep.
For an hour. Levels 4 and 5, and I think 6 would meet twice a week.
Yep.
An hour each.
My 6, we would do, Monday morning, Thursday morning, and for an hour.
There's never more than 5 people in the class. And I don't know. It is a lot of repeating of vocabulary, but it does build each week and each level. And no, you will not remember everything.
Nope. And they don't expect you to.
And they don't expect you to. It's kind of like the fire hose concept. We're going to hose you down with a fire hose, and some of it's going to stick. And that's kind of what they do. I stressed a little in level 3 if I would be ready for 4. And then I got into level 4, and my mind was blown, and it was in Spanish most of the time. And I was stressing, am I really ready for level 5? And they were like, yeah, you are. This is exactly how you should be feeling.
They see it. I mean, and that's and the best part about it is Denise and Amy. Amy is the one who created the whole Expat Spanish program. And you can just go to expatspanish.com, Terry, and that will
Let me find it.
Get you to their page to be able to sign up for classes. But one of the things that they do is we laugh as much.
Oh, we have fun.
I mean, so it's not one of those where you're going, it's a taskmaster. It's going to be, oh, if you didn't do your homework, da, 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 you know, or you're not going to be able to keep up. We have two different schools of thought on this. Mine is that the pressure is on, and I put the pressure on myself by not preparing. Because if I'm standing in line at the grocery store, I don't have time to prepare for that conversation either. Or Sunday when I picked her up at the airport and her flight was delayed and I'm looking like a tiburon, a shark, circling, you know, going around and around and around, waiting for her to come out. And so I'm one of them, and woo, I get pulled over. You know, and all it was the National Guard. But you want to talk about putting some stress on your Spanish real quick?
Yeah.
Here you have the National Guard standing there, you know, and I'm just like, you know, estoy esperando para mi esposa en el avión que es tarde. And he was like, you know, buen dia or buenas tardes, because it was afternoon by that point. It's supposed to be morning. That's how late it was. And, you know, away I went.
Yeah.
But so I want the pressure on myself, because that is when I'm going to have to respond. And
in the meantime, I'm a perfectionist, and I will do the flashcards until I know them. And so then if I can't retain some of the things, I feel like I'm not ready to move forward. That's what happens when you're a perfectionist. You never advance and you never get anything completed or finished because you're never satisfied with what you have so far. And that's my problem. So I did really well, and I've learned a lot. I can have simple conversations with people. I was very proud of myself at the airport when I did my declarations and I explained what sort of comida I was bringing back. And
see, that's another scenario where
yeah,
all of a sudden, boom, pressure's on. You've got an
Yeah.
official standing there asking you a question, and you're going, I got to give an answer, and I need it to be intelligent.
yeah,
Well, at least try to look intelligent, you know. But that, you know, all you can do is, and so I think that putting the pressure on, making me do it, I think it works for me.
I think it's very helpful. Terry, I'll tell you, I love learning languages, but it gets harder to do as you get older. You tend to not retain things as easily as you did when you were a teenager, maybe, or in middle school or something, when they offer languages in school. And so I had like 6 years of French throughout junior high and senior high, and I was pretty darn fluent. I'm not anymore because I'm out of practice, but I still can read it and I understand it. So then I used to do Pimsleur Italian in my commutes to work, and I picked that up audibly, but I didn't really know how to write the words or what they looked like to see them because it was an audible course. I tried doing Spanish with Pimsleur. Rocket Languages was okay.
Duolingo is
Rosetta Stone.
Yeah,
You
Duolingo will help you with vocabulary.
Yeah.
Because it does throw a lot of words at you.
Yeah.
It doesn't do the explanation because of the way it's designed.
It doesn't help you with the conjugations. You know, this is going to help you.
Correct. It doesn't. It definitely doesn't help you with the low lace law. Say. I mean.
And this is Mexican Spanish, and
yes,
that's really important because there are some words in Spanish that are either offensive or taken in a way you don't want them to be in Mexico. So that's real big help too.
But the best part actually about it, Terry, is this. The people here in Mexico, if you make the effort, they smile. They laugh with you when you make a mistake. They don't laugh at you. They laugh with you, and they will give you the proper pronunciation. I mean, when we were in Merida, across the street from us, we had a little 6 tienda, and then I would go over there and get, a 3-liter Coke. And so got to know the people who worked in that tienda because we were there for 3 months, and I'd walk in, we'd have our little, and they were working on their English and I'm working on my Spanish. And so we'd sort of help each other out a little bit, but it was really, thumbs up to go, that's what you need to do. So,
so I hope, Terry, I hope that's helpful. It might be a little tricky to actually find the courses that you're looking for specifically by level, but that's probably because Amy has it set up in such a way that you can kind of take like a test.
yes, you take a sort of a placement test
to see where you are. And then she can recommend which level you can start with, which is how he ended up right away in level 2. And I struggled getting into level 1. But I hope that's helpful. So that's
and the other thing is if you feel like you need to retake a level, they're going to, if you ask Denise or Amy at the end of the level, am I ready for the next one? They're going to be honest with you. They're going to say, no, I think you might be better off taking this one again. You don't pay full price. You get it for half price.
I think it's half price.
It's half price if you take it again.
Yeah.
So
for sure. And the flashcards, they incorporate Brainscape, which again, he doesn't use because that's homework. But the flashcards, I found them to be very, very helpful. And that's part of the course. And she has a whole bunch of different flashcard sets made up for the course by level and by course, by class.
And by lesson.
Lesson.
I mean, for some of the words that you're going to learn. So, I mean, there's times I put myself behind the 8 ball because it's like, Denise sort of looks at me and goes, really, but she knows me now enough to know he's not going to do that. Besides that, somebody's got to be the class clown. So that's
Mark.
That's my role.
He is the Mark. He is the class clown. Hi, Lambden and Michelle and Shane. Hello, welcome. Hank's mom. Hank's mom, I think you might be new. Welcome. We're glad you're here tonight. Appreciate
Buenas
you being
noches.
here. Yes. Let me move down here a little bit. Lambden. Rumbo a Querétaro, en route to Querétaro. Okay. In Querétaro.
Finally.
We're here now we said 6 months, but then we realized somehow
we can't count.
Both of us somehow only reserved it for 5.
But the host was more than gracious when we checked in, and I said, we may want to be here a little longer. And he was just like, take your time and get back to me and tell me when you want to leave. You're good to go. So, it's not like somebody has booked it right behind us. So we're like, all right. Because I know that has happened to us and we didn't really appreciate that. So, fortunately it is open for about another 6 weeks behind us. And that's what we're thinking of doing is doing it until July here. So,
yeah. We have a family reunion trip that we're going to go on. And we just sort of felt like, well, why move all our stuff? We're going to leave for almost 2 weeks. Just leave the stuff here and then we'll come back.
Yeah.
So we'll probably be here 7 months. And we are working with the host on doing more of a rent rather than an Airbnb.
Airbnb, you didn't hear that, but
I don't care if Airbnb does hear that.
I understand.
I don't care. They're greedy.
They are that.
Okay. How is the San Miguel meetup coming? Well, let's talk about that. So Ernie is officially looking at a restaurant. Okay. So let me explain. I know the YouTubers are going to meet up the night before so that we can introduce ourselves to each other and make plans the next morning for maybe some collaboration videos or some brainstorming topic ideas, things like that. So this meetup is going to be like, part of it is going to be us brainstorming and working together as creators. And then the second part of it is going to be meeting up with any viewers or subscribers that would like to meet up with us. So right now, Ernie is looking for a restaurant for the night before that has a room large enough to hold some of us.
Because right now it's about 8.
About eight. Seven or 8 YouTubers.
7 or 8 different YouTube channels
so far. And I have one more email I need to send out to people that might be interested, because if they want to come, those YouTubers need to send me some information so I can get them on our little WhatsApp group that we're using for planning. Then the next morning, we'll do our little collaborations and things. And then that afternoon and that evening, we will have the meet and greet with anyone who wants to come and meet us. Now, that venue is also being fleshed out by Ernie. He's looking around to see.
He could be fishing around for it too.
Well, he could be.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, there's been talk about a few ideas of places we could do that. The only thing that's written in stone is the date.
Yep.
It is January 25th. We don't have what time yet, and we don't have the venue yet. That doesn't mean it's not coming, but it's just that, you know, Ernie needs time to be able to communicate with people to see what is available that we can use.
And to be honest, the first part was trying to book a restaurant was, do we have an idea as to how many people? And
yes,
so
we needed to know the number.
And so, you know, we're trying to get the number of YouTube creators that are going to be there. And at one point it was up to 10 channels, and I know of 2 that have canceled due to conflicts.
But there may be some people jumping in,
right?
So it could still be 10 channels.
It'd still be 10 channels,
Yeah.
right? Right now, I can think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are really confirmed.
Solid.
Yeah. I mean, like they booked, you know, some have booked airfare down, Airbnbs,
Right.
and of course, in Ernie's case, it doesn't matter.
He lives
'cause
there.
he's right there. But
well, that's a good point to bring up, though. So we are definite for the 25th of January. If you are definitely interested in coming, I would highly recommend that you book either an Airbnb or a hotel for Friday night, so that you can, or Saturday night.
depends on how far
How
you're
long
coming
you
from.
want to live there.
Yeah.
You know, how long you want to be there. But to book a place to stay so that you can be there for the 25th. That way you don't have to worry about any last minute accommodations and things.
Or if you're traveling in Mexico, God knows sometimes things don't travel quite
Yeah.
as quickly as you want them to.
True. But I'm sorry, that's like the most details we can give at the moment, because we don't have the restaurant which wouldn't be part of the fan meet and greet anyway.
And we don't have a time or a location.
We don't have a venue or a time yet.
Right. We do have location. We just don't have the venue yet.
Right. We just need a venue.
And I think that the last conversation that was had between us and Ernie was he was looking at a sort of a vineyard type.
Yeah, he did mention that.
On the outside of San Miguel, not so much in Centro, but a little bit on the outside of it, that gives us room to disperse and have conversations and not all in one room and sound like a bunch of flamingos. I mean, you know.
Are flamingos noisy?
Oh my God.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Sounds like a convention room of conventioneers.
Hey, it's Annie. Annie, hello. Did you like the photos that I sent? I think people are intrigued. We are having some friends over for a Christmas dinner. We're going to have a total of 10 people over for Christmas dinner. We're doing it.
Well, 10 counting us. 8.
Yes.
Right.
So we're a total of 10, and we're having a traditional Gringo United States type Christmas dinner, right? And so we're doing all those types of fixins, and thought it would be fun to share it with a few of our Mexican friends and some of our Gringo friends. So, you know, that's what's going on. And I've been teasing them with photographs of things that I'm doing.
Terry, if that's your long-term plan, bud,
right
go
here?
for it. Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing we can tell you is plan, and then plan again, because it's not an easy process, but the more you plan, the easier it gets, you know, as far as dealing with the consulate, what you have to do about getting rid of all your stuff in the US and I mean, you know.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, no, no, no. I
Yep.
like the Mexican Spanish of chaqueta. That's kind of,
It is a word that has two meanings. Castilian is one, and Mexican is a different one. So
and the funny thing is, you know, it's like one of the things you learn is when you're talking about temperature. If you are warm, then it's calor. You're warm. Okay.
mhm.
You're not caliente. Because if you're caliente, you're basically telling someone that you're horny.
Hey, yeah,
It's kind of like that. So yeah, there are words though in Spanish like chaqueta that you don't really want to use in
no.
Mexico. At least not in that way.
Well, at least not in mixed company. If you're in the locker room at the golf club, okay, you know.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, wait, what is this cute little thing? Hi, it's a wavy hand. Hi, Ruby.
Hey, Ruby.
Ah, oh, Lola, see, I've been teasing these ladies now. Don't know what those ingredients make. We got 2 grocery carts worth of food yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, I have to be fair though. One was a coffee maker and one was a hand mixer.
I mean, well, and then some wine glasses, then a case of beer, and some more Cokes, and that filled up one buggy real quick.
It sure did. We tipped really well because our bagger not only bagged, but he unloaded our grocery cart for us too.
Yeah.
Terry, going to get the residency in addition to Spanish. Yeah. It's just smart. It's a smart thing to do.
We had this 18-month plan that we condensed down to 4 months, 3 months when the boys finally, had to be put down. And so then it was like, what the hell are we still doing here? Why don't we just go now? And
yeah,
we put the pedal to the metal and away we went. And so, yeah, if we'd have had more time to prepare our Spanish skills, it would have been a lot easier transition.
Yes. You need Spanish. I know there are soft landings here in Mexico where you really don't. But then you're kind of isolated and you are in a sort of bubble. And if you ever leave that bubble, you're uncomfortable. So you really do. You need to learn some basic day-to-day Spanish.
Well, and here's the other thing. You got to get to those soft landing spots,
Yeah.
which means you're either, if you're flying, you're going to be going through an airport. Well,
oh my gosh, let me talk about that real quick for a minute. So I'm in Querétaro and I understand enough Spanish to understand the name of my airline and my flight number. But here's the thing. When you're in an airport and they're talking in English, it's echoing and it's muffled and people are making noises and it's hard to hear it in English. Now try this in Spanish. I was literally in the wrong terminal. I mean, not really wrong terminal. I don't know what you want. I guess wrong gate. The thing is I think the last time I flew out of Querétaro, they may have only had one main gate. It's just a big room.
They had the two side by side.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that. I just know that there was one big room that has like 4 or 5 gates in it. And I thought that's where I was supposed to be. And when I finally figured out that no, I have to leave that area, go down a convoluted hallway, make some turns, and then there's another room, a room that I've never seen before, but that's where my flight was leaving from this time. And when I got to that room, my flight had already been boarding for 5 minutes. So I just got in the line, and it's a good thing I did. And I had asked 2 people on the other side where that flight was loading. One of them tried to explain to me, but it didn't make much sense. The only thing I got out of it is I needed to go to the right. And then I had to ask somebody else. And then he told me that I had to go down a hallway. I'm like, okay. But it matters. That matters.
Yeah,
I could have missed my flight.
Or if you're going to drive,
yeah,
then you have to deal with the border and the possibility of having your car inspected. And then you are definitely going to have to go through the I&M process and the tip process, both of which are going to require Spanish. So, yeah, it really does, because we could still be standing at that one, counter waiting for that guy to approve us to get into the country, because he was like, no,
Oh,
you're not coming in.
Yeah. And I still
Thank you, Ernie.
I still find myself pulling out Google Translate for things that I'm trying to figure out how to say. Like if I want to get my hair cut, I got to be very specific about how I want my hair cut. Well, how do I say words like bangs or fringe? How do I say I want layers for volume? I mean, that's not typical day in, day out, conversation. So those are words I don't know. And those are things I need to learn how to say. So Google Translate's still being used. But
I don't have that problem.
yeah, I know.
No.
He's easy.
Corta mi cabeza. No
Yes.
corta mi barba.
Hey there. Hi. Oh, thank you
Hola,
for joining us. Thank you. So let's see here. Oh, really, really liked you blogged about Kansas City at the consulate. Yes. They were really great to work with, and they were as helpful as they could possibly be without bending major rules for us. But they had a stipulation that we had to have our financials signed, and that put a little bit of a
and it wasn't
panic on
and
us.
It was not just us. There were two other people who were there on return visits because of that same stipulation. So,
I mean, we got them signed. They were signed. And that's all they really cared about.
And then when we, she came back down, it was, oh, you got them signed.
And she's kind of looking
like wink, wink,
she's
wink.
like, how did you do that? And I said, I cried.
And quite honestly, if you think about it, they're not going to call the branch to check on it. It just needed a signature.
Yeah. But I mean,
read between those lines.
If we had those signed from the very beginning in our appointment, we probably would have been in and out of that office in less than 2 hours.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be about right.
Easily. But even though we didn't have our documents signed, we had to get them signed. They were so flexible. Number one, they were flexible enough to allow us to come in a week before his appointment so that I could come in too, because I wasn't able to secure an appointment. It was just only he got one. I couldn't get one. So a week earlier, they said, you can come in a week earlier and you can both come in. So number one, they made a special appointment for us, basically.
And I mean, not everybody may have the ability to do this, but we were actually in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And so I went early to take the documents to go, do you guys need this? Would this help you in any way if you had this before we get there? And so they had a face to put with the name and everything else, and I'm trying my best, and
smooth it over, be kind.
And it never hurts to schmooze.
No. And so they were very flexible, allowing us in a week early, allowing us both in. They were very flexible in allowing us to come back the same day with the required signatures. We just had to be there before a certain hour because then they start closing stuff down. They did everything to bend over backwards to get us processed that day and approved. And then they even played with us a little bit and was like teasing us like, I'm sorry, guys, like make me think we didn't get approved. Meanwhile, they were just playing with us.
Yeah, they'd already taken our pictures and everything else. I was not worried. At that point, if we were going to get bounced, it was going to be before the pictures got taken.
I agree.
Once they were like, stand here. Yes, look. Okay.
I was just so thankful that we got things done and that they were so flexible in the time that they gave us to do it. I even sent them a thank you card. Like, I thought that was a nice thing to do. How many people do you know who got their residency in Mexico, sent their consulate a thank you card? Probably not that many.
Probably not.
But anyway, that's just the way I rolled.
And I wasn't really worried because when we got done with the personal interviews and she goes, oh, welcome to your new home in Mexico. I was like, yeah, we're in.
I'm going to come back to your question in just a minute, Jesse. So yes, it was BOA, as you know, but it wasn't only
No, it was
BOA.
not only as
There
we
were
have found
a
out
lot.
from a lot of you guys here, have also piped in that Chase did it and Citibank did it,
Mhm.
and
They just won't sign those
they
documents.
will not. I mean, the BOA was like, we can do all this, and we're going to do, we can put a teller stamp on it, and I'm like, we've been customers here so long. We always use you for your notary. Could you notarize them? Well, no.
No.
They actually said you can go down the street to the UPS store and get them notarized. Why would I pay when part of our service from you is free notary? Notarize it. No. The consulate won't care. I wanted to so badly go back in there and go, look.
Okay, stop. Okay, going down the wrong path now.
Yeah.
But there were various financial institutions with the same policy. We heard about it from a lot of you.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the day we were in there was another couple that had to make a return visit.
And then
for the same
another
reason,
guy. There was a single guy
for
that
the
was
same reason, same bank. It was BOA. And what that couple had done is they went to their accountant, and their accountant signed their documents.
Their tax preparer.
Their financial advisor.
And so, if Joe Smith, your neighbor next door, is your tax guy, have Joe sign them.
Yeah. We don't know what that's about. So
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Jesse. Okay, the short version is this. The rules are you have 6 months from the day you get your visa from the consulate to get into Mexico to start the canje. Once you pass into Mexico, you have 30 days to get it completed.
No.
Yeah.
No, 30 days to have the appointment.
Oh, right. But to get into the INM.
Right.
To do the canje.
You just have to have the clock stops when you get the appointment.
Consulate, 6-month window, cross the border, 30 days.
Yep.
Well, we crossed the border. It had been 29 days since we got our visas from the consulate, 29 days. And we have 6 months. And this guy thought that we only had 30 days. Now it's been 29.
29.
But he thought we only had 30 days and we were too late and he wasn't going to let us in. So,
and he and Ernie were having a back and forth, and Ernie was politely explaining to him what the law was. And then suddenly the light bulb went on and he went, oh, and he had him reversed. But here's the thing. We could not have had that conversation to explain that he was in error.
Right.
And quite honestly,
we're going to argue with an immigration official about their own laws.
Yeah. I mean,
we're not in a position to have that argument. And even if we were, our Spanish isn't good enough to have the argument. So it was very good that Ernie was with us at the time.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yes, very much so. And guys, yes, thank you, Annie Vet. I'm so happy. We're both very happy that you found those helpful. And we've heard this, but you guys have to understand that Annie Vet and Arlene followed behind our footsteps not that long after we arrived.
6 weeks after we got here.
Was it 6? That was like 4, but it was not long after. No,
because they got here right after the first of the year.
And
you want to talk about horror story? You think we had it bad at the border?
No. We're not going to go into it. It's a long story and it's a stressful story. It's stressful to tell it. It was stressful to read it.
I'd have to go get her mezcal to go through it again.
But basically, they ended up in a very stressful situation they were supposed to have a driver meet them at the airport that never showed up.
In Guadalajara to come to Querétaro.
Yeah, and they found themselves with their dogs and their belongings, no ride to Querétaro. They had to find a last minute Airbnb. It's dark. You're driving they had to rent a car.
2 a.m.
It's dark. You don't want to drive in the dark in Mexico for a lot of reasons. And then they're in a place and their cellular signal might not be that strong. And they need maps to get to Querétaro.
And to be honest, GPS here in Mexico is very hit and miss.
So it was stressful. It was stressful reading it.
But these two, nothing stopped them. They went in 5 weeks of their arrival. They got a bank account, bought a car, bought a house.
Yep. because they're awesome.
Don't get in their way.
Don't get in their way, man. They got it done. Oh, Sleepy Joe, you got that VC box. Yay. Yeah, we like it. It's a little confusing. Confusing isn't the word. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming.
Because of the content. Yeah,
yes.
It's just like, wow.
Yes, 30,000 plus movies to watch on demand. Just, yeah. And then pretty much not all, but most of the premium streaming services are available on it. Just, wow. It's worth it. It's like maybe $400 to buy a box, and then there's no subscription ever.
No, I mean, it's, and Sleepy Joe, I'm going to tell you one thing that I have found, like, especially on the on-demand, like if I'm going back and watching Sons of Anarchy or Sopranos or something like that, and if it starts to freeze, change the server. Go in and hit your menu button, go up, and then it pops up. It says server. You just go up and you just pick a different server. And 99% of the time, that solves that problem.
That's very good. You figured that all by yourself.
No, I didn't. My mom did.
Oh.
My 84-year-old mother had informed me of that one.
Mexican style. Moved to Mexico 7 years ago. All my neighbors are American. Are they?
Well, you could say that if they lived here in Mexico, they're American anyway. But
that's true. But I know what you mean. United States citizens.
Yes.
Gringos. Are you living in like an expat enclave? Like, are you in San Miguel or Ajijic, Merida, places like that?
Or Riviera Maya.
Well, yeah, Riviera Maya.
Puerto Vallarta.
Yes.
I mean, there are certain places
that's true. It's true. Okay, Alfredo.
Hola, Alfredo.
Hola, Alfredo. You look good. Thank you. Hey, cool, baby.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Let's see. We got home from San Luis last night. Great visit. So, did you like San Luis Potosí?
He liked the churro, though. I saw that.
Mark said he saw your churro. Did you get Zarzamora?
To me, it's the only way to go. But that is the best churro that we have found in Mexico.
I would agree with them. So we got churros in Puebla. They were good. They were not. They weren't the filled kind. They were just regular, and I don't mind that. But they had that nice tender center and very crispy outside. He didn't care for those because he really likes the ones from San Luis. He loved those, and yeah.
Yeah, and you got yours from Mom and Dad. I saw that. On anybody wants to see what we're talking about, go to Papa Got a GoPro. He dropped a short today on getting a churro in Jardín de Tequisquiapan in San Luis Potosí, and he even remembered which one to go see. And he got it from Mom and Dad.
They were there
on the weekends. It tends to be.
Well, I thought they alternate each night.
They do, but the sons or the nephews or whoever, but it's a family thing and good stuff.
So, yes, Terry, a CPA can do it. You know what? The janitor could do it.
Mm-hmm. The security guard could do it.
But you might seem like it's more legit if it was your CPA. Yeah.
If you want to feel good about going in there with it done by a CPA, then yes, you will feel better.
Yep. And Shane, CPA did it for us. It honestly, you could probably.
The CPA is a secretary. I mean.
Yeah. Of course, we say that. Okay, maybe we should back that up. We say that some consulates might be pickier than others, and all
we can do is go based on what we experienced in Kansas City. And there are still some consulates out there that go, we don't care about signatures, because I think some consulates are sitting there going, we know what people are doing because we know the banks aren't going to sign them.
Right. I mean, it just depends on who you get and what consulate you're at and how picky they are about it. Honestly, that's how that goes. And
they got more time to scrutinize them now because the number of people who are going to be applying is going to go down dramatically because the requirements for residency. I mean, we couldn't. We'd still be on the other side of the border.
Oh, that's good that you brought that up right now. So let's hide this for just a second. So the minimum monthly solvency requirement is going to be about $4,400 a month.
Yeah.
Net. So even if you had a really good paying job and you were bringing in, $5 or $6 grand a month, it's the net that they're looking at. So you're going to have about $4,400 a month cash flow every month regularly without fail of a minimum of $4,400. I saw something recently, and I want to say it was right beneath Q Paul's last video. He was talking about other Latin American countries and what their solvency requirements are.
Yeah, Costa Rica, Panama, and a couple of others.
And I'm thinking that's where I saw this. Somebody said that they had a knowledgeable source that indicated that the consulates are very seriously considering using the alternative formula than what they have been using. What they have been using is based on Mexican minimum wage. And every time that goes up, it affects how much you have to have for solvency.
A 20% bump in Mexican minimum wage is a 20% bump, and when it was $3,500, now let's add 20% on top of that. And suddenly you're going, oh no. And there was one consulate in the U.S. that used the alternative formula.
We don't know that.
Well, McAllen's was a couple of years ago was so much lower than everybody else. The belief was that the reason that theirs was so much lower is they adopted the alternate formula and everybody else chose to stay with the other. And then McAllen just became overrun and they threw their hands up and went, no, if you don't live in Texas, and now we're also going back to the other formula because this was,
it was just too much for them.
Yeah.
It was, they were being overrun. So since that number is around 4,400 starting January 1st, what I'm seeing is people are indicating that they may be going to that. Is it called a UMA?
Something like
UAM, some other formula. And that would bring it back down to $2,000 some a month. There is not a single person who's living on Social Security alone in the U.S. that would ever qualify for residency with the new number at all. They wouldn't qualify now.
Oh, there's none, but
nobody's earning Social Security that high.
It'd be precious to you.
Yeah.
No.
But
and those that have a number coming in that's that high, they also have other streams of income.
Yeah,
so,
I'm just talking about Social Security. So let's see. Maybe they will go to the other formula. If that's the case, then that means there'll be an uptick of more applicants again.
And I think that Mexico, I think the Mexican government was sort of using this as a way of tapping, closing the tap just a little bit while they had prepared the infrastructure inside the government to help deal, because they changed the computer system, they changed the way they did the cards. There were a lot of things that they were implementing, and so giving themselves time to sort of, let's put this in place and slow it down, catch our breath, do this. And then also we have a new president here in Mexico. Do we want to maybe change, is that going to be a change? So lots of things were in place. So now it's sort of up in the air, and let's see if this truly goes. Yeah, come on back.
Okay, Jenny, I went to the consulate in Phoenix. They didn't want anything signed. Yep. They were confused as to why I had translated everything into Spanish, even though their page requested it. They were really chill. It just depends on where you go.
And I think like in Kansas City, I walked up to the desk there and I said, Tango una pregunta. And the young lady looked at me and actually giggled and went, we can do this in English. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And so I think they are so used to seeing when people come in for visas, it being in English, that, the people who are mostly doing that type of interview are proficient in English.
Right. Let's see. Well, what just happened there? I hate when this happens. Okay. So Terry, it would have been easier to fly in under certain circumstances, but we could not do the fly in. Some people could just take 2 suitcases, fly in, and be done. We are touring all of Mexico over 4 years. We're using our car. So we had to drive in with our car, and we had a lot more than 2 bags each. Because I work, I have between my art supplies and my digital nomad workstation stuff, I take up easily half of the inside of our car, just in those 2 things.
Yeah, just in those 2.
That
Yeah.
doesn't even start to account yet for clothing and other stuff. So no, we have an SUV with a roof bag, and it's packed. It's a lot. And none of that could have been flown in without costing us an arm and a leg.
No.
And then we wouldn't have had our car.
And all right.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna make this suggestion right now. When you get, if you do drive and you get a tip, if you have one person who is the primary driver, have them get the tip in their name.
Yeah.
Because Gina gets used to because I'm the one that drives. She gets in the habit of not bringing her purse
I
with her,
don't carry my purse around.
which no big deal until you get stopped and they go, the tip's in her name. I need her identification. And
Yeah.
she's like, it's in my purse
Yeah.
back at the, and he was, gonna write us a ticket. And I think he was trying to enforce the fact that, yes, we need to have her ID when we're driving in the car because the tip is in her name.
It's in my name.
And so now what we do is I carry her South Dakota driver's license in my wallet so that if that were to happen again, she has at least one ID to be able to show them.
To be fair, he was in the bathroom when I got the tip. And it was my car. That was my car that we brought.
Yeah, we're both on the title. I mean,
Well,
it just was.
Yeah, we are. But I mean, I was just.
Everybody has.
It.
She had the SUV. I had the sedan. I mean,
Yeah.
but it was like.
But he was in the restroom when I got the tip, so the tip's in my name. And yeah, why do you drive all the time? I hardly ever drive.
Because I tend to be the one that knows where I'm going. I am the human GPS.
Okay. Let's see. Hi, hey, Anna. Okay. Back from Cancun, missing Mexico already. Oh my. Cancun must have been really nice. Good weather right now. Probably
it's
a lot of people there. Probably a lot of snowbirds too.
Yeah, it's a little chilly here. I mean, it was 41 degrees Fahrenheit this morning here in Querétaro. So it was, put a hoodie and a jacket on and okay.
He comes down looking like Nanook the Eskimo in the mornings. It's kind of funny. Shane, what happened here? We tried Kansas City first, not too long after Mark and I got rejected at the front desk. I think because the front desk person could tell I wasn't close to retirement age and ended up going through in
Omaha
and cruised right through.
Sounds like Charlie Daniels.
Were you trying to do the permanent residency? Because some of them get picky about your age with permanent.
Yeah.
We were doing temporary. They don't really care about your age for temporary, but if you try to do permanent, some of them are real picky and they want you to be retirement age. I don't know why. Let's say I have all the money in the world and I'd retired early. What difference does it make how old I am?
And folks, again, it literally comes down to who you get.
Yeah.
I mean, in which consulate.
Okay. Cloudy. Hi guys, are staying in Mexico? If so, where do you think is the best region to set? Well, best region's really going to depend on what you're looking for. We've been in the Central Highlands. The weather tends to be mild, but very, very dry and dusty.
Mm-hmm.
It gets cooler in the winter, like it was 41 this morning. and it might get up to 80 in the afternoon max. In the summer, they had a warm summer this past
They
year.
were hitting the 90s.
They were hitting the 90s. But the thing is because that's kind of the way the weather is, most of these houses don't have air conditioning or heat.
Mm-mm.
So that's one thing you have to consider. If you were to if you could tolerate really high humidity and high heats, you might want to consider places like Veracruz, Mérida, Campeche, Huatuco.
Progreso.
Those places are very, very humid and very, very warm year round. In the summer, wow. Yeah, we did Huatuco in the summer. Whoa, baby.
And here's another thing
Hot.
that really quit kicking the table.
Sorry, guys.
Another thing to consider that took us a little bit of getting used to, summer hits here earlier.
Yes, we weren't aware of that.
I mean,
by about a month.
Yeah, we're so used to, okay, June is starting to get really warm, and July and August are the, as we call them, the dog days of summer.
Not here.
May and June.
Maybe even April.
Well, April is like June.
Yeah.
But May and June, it's hot.
Other considerations as to what would be a good place. How good is your Spanish? If you don't have good Spanish, you might want to consider going to a place like San Miguel de Allende or Ajijic,
or any of the expat enclaves, anywhere along Riviera Maya, because Riviera Maya, they teach English in the schools. I mean, so the amount of English that is heard throughout the entire Riviera Maya continues to grow as these children are coming out and entering the workplace. And then you have so many people who work for the resorts. Well, if you work for a resort, odds are I'd probably say 60 to 70% of them speak at least some English. I mean, there are some that don't, but
other considerations. Are you going to have a car? If you're not, you're going to have to at least be near public transportation, which you're going to have to learn how to navigate, or walking distance to the things that you need. So groceries and stuff.
And, if you still have family and everybody in like the US or Canada or someplace like that, proximity to an international airport.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of locations that we stayed that the drive to the airport would have been, Valladolid would be the perfect example. It's either 90 minutes to Merida or it's 75 minutes to Cancun. And those are the two closest international airports.
So I would say it would depend on your needs. It would depend on whether you can get along in places without Spanish, or if you need to, have Spanish, if you're comfortable with that. If you can tolerate the heat, or if you could tolerate, like, for example, it's dry here. I mean, like, it's dry.
Oh, yeah.
My skin soaks up the lotion here, and my hair's got static flying around all the time. But the temperature is good and it's not sticky. So, our criteria specifically for us, the biggest things we needed was an international airport, good medical centers nearby,
walkability.
I
mean, that's one of the reasons, when we went to San Miguel, we love San Miguel, and there's a lot of things about San Miguel that are fantastic, the culture, everything else. But boy, Centro, walking up to it and around it with the hills there and the cobblestones and the narrow sidewalks, and I'm going, okay, it's not a problem now, but 10 years from now, I'm in my mid 70s, I'm going to be going, this may not be what I want to do.
Oh, yeah. And elevation. If you're somebody who suffers from like COPD or something like that, the higher elevations might be difficult for you. So San Luis Potosí, maybe Querétaro, Puebla, those are higher elevations, and some people can't take them.
Yes.
Speaking of Puebla, it's not just dust. It's It's volcanic ash.
Volcanic ash.
And it's in the air, and everything has
I
to be.
had problems walking Puebla.
He did.
And it wasn't because of it not being flat. I mean, the terrain was great. The sidewalks were normally pretty good and flat. I mean,
I think it was the elevation.
I think it was the elevation. I think it was the ash, and getting here, it's interesting. Didn't have much of an appetite in Pueblo. I got here and I feel like I've put a tapeworm in me because all I want to do is eat ever since we've gotten to Querétaro. I mean, it's just been like,
true. I've been hungry too for some reason.
I'm either in the pantry or in the refrigerator, and it just seems like, so
yeah.
I don't know.
We haven't been to the West Coast yet. So we still have places.
But yeah,
I mean, we still have places to see. We haven't been to the Lake Chapala area. We haven't been to Puerto Vallarta. We haven't been to
Mazatlan.
Yeah, there's places we haven't seen yet.
We still have BCS.
What we can say is we try to stay away from the border states and south of Durango in general.
Yeah,
that's kind of our cutoff.
We sort of drew a line in Mexico and went, all right, we're concentrating on cities south of Durango.
And that's predominantly for safety reasons. There is cartel activity in Mexico, and some places are hotspots and some places are not. When we were in the state of Chiapas, that's cartel activity in Chiapas.
Because of the proximity to Guatemala.
Yeah.
And also just, you have to remember that Chiapas is the poorest state in all of Mexico. And they're also the highest percentage of indigenous people live in the states of Chiapas and Oaxaca.
And they just want to be left alone.
And they are proud and they are protective of their culture. And can't say as I blame them. And it's not just to Gringos, it's to other Mexican government. They're just like, leave us the hell alone. We want to do what we have been doing for our entire lives. And
but there's definitely cartel activity there. We didn't experience anything negative.
No, just it was just a feeling. I mean, going from Zinacatan to Chamula, there was like night and day.
There was a definite change in what you felt.
Not to mention that you drove by all the mansions on the way in. I mean, they don't even try to hide it. It's like.
And then in Oaxaca as well, we were in Oaxaca City, and this is not cartel related. This is just there's Mark described it as an edginess. You kind of sense it. Nothing bad happened to us at all, but you're cautious. You're just cautious. You're cautious about not displaying too much because you don't want somebody to maybe pickpocket or take it from you. And you're very conscientious about the time of day that you're walking around, and if you're by yourself, it's just being safe.
And I also think that was a lot of that was depending upon which neighborhood you were in.
I agree.
We were in Lenoria, and I could walk Lenoria and have no issues and did not feel that. But as we ventured out, it just sort of started to take on a little bit of a different vibe, and coming from, and here's what probably made it more noticeable, coming from Huatuco, where the vibe there was just, I kept waiting to see the, hey dude, it was just laid back.
Very laid back.
And let's all have a good time, peace, love. And that was sort of the vibe we got in Huatuco. Then changing that to go to Oaxaca, and suddenly it was a little bit different.
It was just you just pay attention more to your surroundings, which you should be doing anyway.
Duh.
So it's such a hard question to answer. That's the long answer. It's a hard question to answer because it's all about what are you looking for.
Give you an idea what we did just to finish this up. We actually created a spreadsheet, and when we were in the U.S. and we were going through all of this data mining on all the different locations, and some of the data that we put in there was just like, really, we'd never have used it since. But we ended up with almost 40 cities south of Durango that made the initial cut. And there were some that we went, nope, like Mexico City,
Yeah.
just too many people.
It's just really congested.
And so we went, okay, and there's a couple others that we kicked out the door. And then it came down to, okay, we have 48 months and we want to experience at least 1 month in each one. And so we sort of had to go look at this. And there's a couple we put in there totally because we just wanted to go there. Valladolid was never really going to be one that we were thinking about living in.
It was just along the way.
Yeah.
It was like a stop along the way between two places we were interested in. So that's the really long story of answering the question that you asked that I tried to be concise with, and it just dragged on.
Paper and pencil.
Just make a list.
Literally, paper
make a
and
list
pencil.
of what you're looking for, and then do you want a bigger city, a smaller city? Do you want to be able to walk to everything, or do you want to have to drive? Do you want a cooler, more temperate climate, or do you want something warm? Is humidity okay? Is dryness okay? What if you're in a place that might get cold and you don't have heat? Are you going to be able to tolerate that? What if you're in a place that gets really hot and you don't have air? Can you tolerate that? Those are the things you need to think about. That's what's most important. And then you start looking at data such as, is this location considered safe? What are the crime statistics? How many people live there? Is there an airport? Is there a hospital? Is there,
to be honest, I mean, we've done 15 different cities so far.
Yeah.
And the edginess in Oaxaca, and I'm not saying we weren't safe, but that was the worst we felt the entire time. So the crime part of it, I go, yeah, we did the same thing as far as we were worried about it. And after having now lived in 15 different cities here in Mexico, it's something we really put way too much thought into.
We did.
Before, now that we've experienced it, we go, okay.
We'll move on to this.
Yep.
Let's see here. Okay, so Shane, my documents didn't even get past the front desk. They seemed overall very confused, but it worked out fine. Since Omaha was super.
As long as the end results ended up with a thumbs up, I mean.
That's just really confusing.
I mean, granted, that's a extra drive.
Yeah, but it's a pain in the butt.
Well.
Saludos desde Jalisco, Mexico. All right. I don't think we're going there, huh?
What, Jalisco?
Well, Jalpa.
I don't know where.
Yeah, we're going to the state of Jalisco for sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure where Jalpa is. So,
but thank you for joining us tonight. See, you can use 2 VC boxes in the same location. Yes, it's per TV, basically.
Per box.
Per TV.
Yeah.
One box per viewing device. Yep. So.
And the nice part about actually laminating, if you really wanted to, let's say that you're like she did. If she wanted going back to the States and she didn't want to miss anything, all she has to do is take the box and an HDMI cable, and she actually hook it up to the computer, and she could watch everything right there. So
it'll work anywhere as long as you just tell it what internet IP you're going to use. So let's see. And how was your trip to the USA? I actually was very keenly aware of a lot of things, and I made very good mental notes because one of the videos that we'll be doing while we are in Querétaro, because we're not traveling around as much while we're here, is I am going to talk about things that I've noticed that took me by surprise, things that seem to have changed since we left, and maybe some things that reinforced why I really prefer to be in Mexico. One of the things, you guys are going to probably laugh at this. My mother-in-law had bottles of Dr. Pepper Zero. She had them all lined up in her garage refrigerator, excess overflow refrigerator. And she opened the door. And I saw all these little bottles of Dr. Pepper, and I was like, oh, what is that? And I looked at them, and I thought for a minute it was like a liter, maybe a liter and a half. Like, no, 2 liter bottles. We're so used to buying 3-liter bottles here in Mexico now that those 2-liter bottles look like almost like single serving bottles to me. I was picking them up with one hand and holding them. They're so much lighter. I can hold them in one hand. I could not believe it. That blew my mind. That was like, that's funny to me.
Well, yeah, but I
Little
mean, just to
baby
give
bottles.
them a tease, tell them about the difference between the Querétaro airport and the Dallas airport.
Oh boy. Okay.
Welcome to the U.S.
Hey, yeah. Okay, so I was going to check 2 bags. And I booked first class. And the reason I booked first class is when you have to book a flight last minute, like I have the last couple times, the rates are so ridiculously through the roof, even for coach, that first class tends to only be maybe $250 more.
No,
To me, that's worth it
No.
because now if I buy that first class ticket, I get to check 2 bags, 70 pounds per bag, not 50. And they don't charge a fee because it's included with the ticket. I get better quality service in general from the steward and stewardess. I get to drink coffee from an actual glass.
flight attendants.
Okay, whatever. Whatever. Those people. I get to drink from a mug, an actual glass, get better snacks, get on the plane first, have bigger storage bins, get off the plane first. My luggage gets loaded onto the belt first. All the good things.
Okay.
So I buy it. I buy that ticket. I go to the counter. You can't do like automatic check-in technically. Well, I had to check bags anyway. So I'm at the ticket agent and I'm checking my bags. I also have a hammock that I bought for our granddaughter, and the hammock is oversized because it's too long. It's only this big around, but it's long. And I asked him, I said, would I be able to take this onto the plane? And he goes, no. And I said, it's too long. He goes, yeah. And he looked back at my bags. Well, one bag was slightly smaller than the other, but clearly was too big to be a carry-on. He said to me, why don't you check the hammock and the bigger bag? Take the smaller bag as your carry-on. Well, wait, it's too big for a carry-on. He goes, yeah, but when you get to the counter at, to board, they'll just tag it for you and they'll check it for no charge. He goes, otherwise I have to charge you $200 for a third bag. Don't ask me why. But anyway, I'm like, okay. So I do what he says. I take the bag over. I get on the plane in Querétaro. Not a single person says a word to me at the desk or anything about this bag. It does fit in my overhead, but it is oversized according to the rules. I get into Dallas. I have to go through the whole international, get your bags, recheck them, that whole biz. And I finally get to my, let me preface this for a minute. They lost the hammock. The hammock didn't make it. And so I waited and waited and waited for it. And finally, I couldn't wait anymore. I did get it back later. Don't worry about that. The point is, I'm running out of time. And I've got 15 minutes to change terminals.
In DFW and from one to the next. And
I'm doing the whole OJ running through the airport thing, pushing this bag with me, trying to get onto the tram to get me to the next terminal, to get to my gate, which is all the way at the end. I am first class, but I am next to the last person that's getting on the plane because I am just making it. And this woman has apparently had a really hard day in Dallas. And she goes to let me on, and then she looks at my bag. She's got attitude. Just saying it right now. She's oozing attitude. And she just looks at my bag. That's too big. Yes, I think it's too big as well. You can't take that on. It's too big. I understand that, but I was told when I first checked that I could take it, and I got on the plane in Mexico with it with no problem.
They're the ones who told her.
They told me to do this. They took my other 2 parcels and my 2 bags, and they told me to take this one with me. So I did. Now she's got major attitude. She picks it up and sticks it down inside one of those little measuring bin things that they have to demonstrate to me visually that it's too big. Now, look, have I not already agreed? I understand it's too big. I'm aware of that. But no, she's got to show me. So I just looked at her and I said, I'm really sorry. What do we do? That's all I said. What do we do? Well, I'm going to let you take it on this time, just so you know. Okay. I go around the corner. There's somebody who's actually checking bags. She goes, oh, you don't have a tag. No, I didn't get one. She leaves and goes to the lady who told me to go. Well, she's in first class, so I told her to just take it. Okay. And that's literally how she said it to her coworker.
Mexico, USA.
Yeah. The people in Mexico are doing the best they can to help me save money, right?
With a smile.
With a smile. And the people in the USA not only ignore the fact that I agree with them, but now they're going to show me that the bag is too big. And then let me on anyway.
But the good news is she passed the drug screening, got the computer, got home. Life is good.
Yes. We're all good.
And cleared out the pile of shit that we had ordered from Amazon almost a year ago that has been sitting at my mom's house waiting for one of us to get back up there. And so, and they basically treated it like Christmas because we'd ordered stuff and we had no
we forgot what we ordered.
No clue whatsoever. And so it's like Christmas morning. I forgot this. Yeah, so
I had makeup and body butter. I had a thing for my computer. You had shorts. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. It was so funny.
2 new pairs of Hey Dudes. I had a little ceremony and said goodbye to my last pair.
Ode to the old dudes.
They hey, that pair went two and a half years, and the soles were just about gone on it. So now this time I got 2 pairs of Hey Dudes, and
Yes. That's just some of it.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of more to tell. Just there was the general sense of, what was the word I was looking for? Oh, flat affect. We noticed a lot of people just had no personality at all. Like just monotone, drone-like.
Because they don't know how to interact with people
It was just so incredible. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Was this the way we were before we left? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even want to think about it.
I know. But and then of course there was the groceries. Like how about my mother-in-law took me to Panera for lunch and it was $40. $40 for lunch at Panera. We got 2 drinks that we had to serve ourselves. We got 2 small sandwiches that didn't come with the dipping sauce that they were supposed to have.
And had to order them themselves.
And a half cup of macaroni and cheese. $40. Just ridiculous.
Hola, Suzanne.
Hi, Suzanne and Terry. Oh, sorry. And also, I'm sorry. I'm jumping around too much. I don't have my mouse. Anyway. Yes. I'm glad that he got that done for you too. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through the nervousness, the nerve-wracking.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
buenos. 9,600 Canadian. What is that in reference to? Am I missing something?
That's the financial requirements.
Whoa.
Well, you got to remember the exchange rate.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's still the same amount of money in pesos,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Let's see. Maybe it's Mexico's wall to keep us out. Maybe, but I know the tone in Q RuPaul's video was that is Mexico only looking for rich people now? And that's what he was trying to address.
I know what he's trying to say and all that, but I got a feeling it just was a way of tapping the brakes on the immigration just a bit and going, let us catch up.
I have to sell my soul to qualify. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Maybe they will start using.
Yeah, hopefully that they're gonna, And a lot of it is going to depend upon what Claudia wants to do, because that is, so much of it now is dependent upon that. And I think a lot of it also, and this is all I'm going to say on this, a lot of it is going to depend upon how Claudia and Trump iron out everything. And
that's all we're going to say about that.
We ain't going down that road.
We don't do those.
No.
And how much you have saved or an
Yes.
IRA. Yes. Those
Now,
things count.
Yeah.
And let's see. Even in Cancun, I had to use my basic Spanish and then put some through a translator. Yep. We did not want to stay near hotel zones, so dealing with locals to get things done. Yeah.
And it's just, I'm sorry, I think it's better. I mean,
well, you get to interact more with real Mexico.
And you get to interact with happy people.
Yeah.
If you are in the hotel zone, you're around other gringos. And I'm sorry, but if you haven't adopted that mindset of going, I'm tired of the shit, you're still carrying that with you. And if you don't leave it at the border.
Yeah. Deltron, hola. Olaf and Bucieros, we fly home Saturday.
Oh, man.
Oh, but how was Bucieros? There was a guy I followed on YouTube for a while that was building basically some condos there for a while, and he used to do a lot of videos on Bucieros. It looks like a nice place.
Isn't that right outside of PV?
I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, I think it is.
Wilfredo, hey there. Good evening. Querétaro, yes, we are here. But you know what? Wilfredo, if you don't set little Grogu free, we can't be friends.
You had to send that picture of Grogu in a box, and I had to hear. Do you see what Wilfredo has Grogu in a box?
Poor little Grogu's in a box. That little baby Yoda needs to be free. Oh gosh. Nope. Doing temporary. Dude, I just don't even get that. That person was confused.
Yeah. Just like ours when we crossed the border that time. It just,
the only time that they may deny you based on age is permanent residency.
Mm-hmm.
Temporary residency can be any age.
And at your age, well, I don't even know what your age is. Why the hell I made that statement? If you are younger and you are wanting to come to Mexico, you do the temporary residency. You do your 4 years, then you do it permanent, and you get around it. And that's how you play the game.
Exactly. We are not really that close to Lake Chapala right now. 3 or 4 hours. Is it about 4 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a little bit southwest of here.
Yeah. We'll be
going.
Again,
I drive.
We'll be going in that direction eventually, because we do have plans to at least check the area out. So, Winston.
Hola, Winston.
Hey, Winston.
Say hello to Terry.
Winston, I had to drop out of level 5 because I have a job. And guys, I say this because Winston would take classes, and he took classes with Mark, and he also had been in one class with me. And it's really hard sometimes because if you have to work, you can't be in the class. And so there you go.
Well, that was the difference. I mean, when Winston was in my classes, he is still working. He's older than I am. He just keeps right on trucking along and doing his business and helping the citizens of the U.S. and Washington, D.C. Bless you, Winston, for that. And, but yeah, it's when you're got a job and you're trying to do that as well, it's
rough.
Yeah.
Because you got to set aside an hour undisturbed. And then, you have to prepare for the class or you're going to be kind of lost. So yeah, it's rough. Hey, Lisa. Exciting news. You're retired.
I knew you were going to Puerto Vallarta in January. Now the question becomes, are you going to be able to make it up to San Miguel for the 25th? I know that you guys are just going to be settling in. So just was asking.
Yes, yes, Shane, I agree. I think your person was very confused.
Yeah.
I'm really, I don't get it.
No, that's
And I agree. I think you were dealing with a newer employee, although I think that you should have had the ability to question that employee and ask this if they would clarify.
but again, that's
I
a
know.
tough thing to go. Do I really want to challenge? Because if I piss them off, they're gonna. Do I go on a blacklist? I'm never gonna get it. I mean, it's you don't think that's gonna happen,
No.
but if I mean,
Yeah.
that was the most stress that we felt on that side of the border was that drive going down to the consulate because we're going. If we screw this up, we have done all of this and we may never get into
Oh
Mexico.
no, I had McAllen appointments in our back pockets, which I released after we got approved. But I had those appointments, so we would have had a backup plan.
Well, we did have that, but yeah, but it's still stressful.
Jesse, I took the Spanish quiz, got 0 points. I did better than expected. Oh gosh, I guess you're good for level 1 then, eh?
I think that's a go there.
Yeah. Hey, Tom. Querétaro already feeling like home and comfortable. Yes. Yes, it actually is. I do have to say the main common living space is a bit small and a bit cramped, a little bit. But you know what? We have a middle floor with 2 nice roomy bedrooms. One of them I'm using for my office space. And then the 3rd floor has a patio and a very large, spacious bedroom. Bathrooms are a little small.
Has a pond and a pool. Pond is good for Tom.
There you go. Right. And you know what? And we have an HEB. You know, shoot us for wanting to indulge in some items from the United States occasionally, but it is so nice to have that HEB because that HEB has Sloppy Joe. That HEB's got.
It just those every once in a while you want those comfort foods.
Yeah.
And you know,
they had actual sour cream.
After 2 years of traveling Mexico and having an HEB both here when we first got here and then again in San Luis Potosí, we were like, okay, this is a pretty soft landing, da 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 da. And then Chedraui, about half of what HEB carries in the comfort.
We got adjusted.
You get adjusted.
And Soriana has a little bit less.
Yep.
You know, you just get adjusted to where you are. But then when you're able to get it again, I mean, just.
But I can say this about coming back to Querétaro. I think when we were here the first time, you got to remember this is the first place we settled on. You know, we hit Mexico, we came to Querétaro for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's what we did. The INM, got our cards and everything else, made great friends and everything else here. But I think we were so excited about being here. And finally, you know, after all the work and everything else, we're here in Querétaro, that we didn't really pay attention to a lot of the things that we are now 10 days back. And it's like, man, it's dusty.
It's so dusty.
And I don't think we paid that much attention just because of the fact that we're in Mexico. We're in Mexico. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And now it's like, oh yeah, we're in Querétaro. The dust is back. And it's just, that's,
yeah, the dust.
it is what
It's
it is.
a lot of dust. It's a lot of dust. So, but you know, you just clean up, right?
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You as well.
Feliz Navidad y Feliz Año Nuevo.
Yes. How do you like your place? Well, we are in a privada, so basically a gated community.
Mm-hmm.
We really only found 2 places that were going to meet our needs that were within the affordability range. One place we liked a lot in Centro, but
we tried to negotiate and
no, that went nowhere.
We got, the host was like, yeah, let me pose it to the owner, and then we heard crickets.
We never heard anything. And so it was like, it's just that don't want to say no or be rude persona that
or the owner went, no, I'd rather get this much more a night and have it rented for 1 week out of the month versus taking what's money in the hand and going, I'll take it for all of that. But
yeah. Anyway,
and then it came down to one was an apartment. This is a townhouse. And the deciding factor was if we needed to use Starlink, because it's a townhouse, I could get to the roof and I could set up Starlink.
Yep.
And so that was
what
literally the deciding factor.
So we're very close to Mirador area, very close to Milenio 3.
Not too far from Centro. I mean, we're closer than we were when we were in Zakia.
Yeah, we're east of Centro. It's like a 15-20 minute drive to get into Centro with traffic. And there's a bus that's not too far from us that we could walk to if we want to take the bus. Of course, that means learning how to take a bus. The house, it's a smart house. Everything is literally connected to Alexa.
Yeah, don't say that.
I don't want to say it too loud. The only thing is of course, all the commands are in Spanish. So
yes, but if you say the name loud enough, then she just perks up and it's like, whatever.
Yeah. But the lights that come on and off, all of that is controlled through that. The lock on the door is controlled through a fingerprint. And the gate is a thing that he got to hold up that you put on the
windshield.
Like
it's just
infrared.
Yeah.
We're very close to the HEB and a small shopping center. Not exactly where I wanted to be, but where we are does not suck. So
no,
this is good.
No, I mean,
there is construction happening across the street from us. So that's probably stirring up some of the dust. I will say I was just so bewildered as to why we were seeing a lot of mosquitoes the last few nights. I mean, I've literally killed 4 in one of the bathrooms, and there was 2 or 3 buzzing around us at night in bed. We left to go to the grocery store yesterday, and don't you know it, there is standing water, a large pond of standing water somewhere close to some construction. And that's where they are. I mean, that's where they are. We're in a dry location. This is dry. There shouldn't be mosquitoes hanging around like that, not like that. And it's because there's standing water not too far. So we keep the doors shut. They don't get in.
No.
You know, and that's it.
Yeah.
We like it. It's quiet here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, considering all things considered with construction and everything else, unless we're just so used to noise everywhere, we're just not even noticing it. We are very close to the fairgrounds.
I was fixing to say it's even quieter now because the first week, we got here Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
Sunday morning, she's on a flight. So the first week it's basically me, and it's the last week of the fair, and the fair is literally just across the street almost. I mean, maybe quarter to a half a mile away.
It's more than across the street. So
but you could hear it, and there were a couple of concerts that went on. So, and hey, that's the one thing we love about Mexico is the exuberance that they exhibit for everything.
And Yvette, that's
Absolutely.
really good. Yes, if you're looking for places to live, one of the things you might want to consider are locations with natural disasters. A lot of coastal places will have hurricane activity. Some of the places are throughout Oaxaca are right on the fault line, so you will have earthquakes.
I mean, we felt 2 of them in Huatuco. We felt one in Oaxaca City. And
a ripple, the ground went
and our hostess, she was just like, Letty was like, yeah, every day,
they get them every
cada
day.
dia,
Yeah,
un pequeño, and they just, it doesn't phase them because they've lived with them their entire life. And
now Querétaro is one of those places where they don't get hurricanes, and they typically do not get earthquakes.
No, because they're outside that belt.
Yeah.
So,
but it is another one to consider for sure.
Absolutely.
Tom, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom.
Thumbs up, everybody. Reverse culture shock videos. I love it. Yes. We just experienced that recently. We were blown away by how much things have changed. I got to tell you, I think it was the prices. The prices hit me bad. the sizes of things that I'm not used to seeing in a while, like that 2-liter bottle. It looked like a toy.
In the attitude.
And the attitudes, the attitudes.
And I suggested to her, I said, one day act Mexican. I said, just say hello to everybody.
Okay.
Good morning. Good,
Okay, so I go to get my drug screen done. It was at a LabCorp location. I had to, number one, I had to make my appointment online. Number two, when I got there, I had to check in with my phone. When I go in, I've already checked in, so I don't know what to do. So I go up to the counter. There are 2 flat affected people sitting at the desk, kind of like half looking at their computer. No one looks up at me. Finally, somebody does, and they want to know if I've already checked in. Well, yes, I have, because I do what I'm supposed to do, I guess. And she asked me to just have a seat. But it wasn't so much what she said, it was the way she said it. It was very monotone, very robotic, very disinterested, and very little eye contact. And so eventually she called me back, but did she come out to the waiting area to get my attention and then say my name so I could hear her? No, I thought I heard her. I had to go look for her. She was down a hallway and peeking around a corner. Okay, so I went in, I did what she said. She read off, these drug screens, there's a script. They memorize it. They have to read it off to everybody, right? So she's reading it off and it sounds just like that. And she's not reading anything. She's just saying all this. So I do all the things I'm supposed to do. We're at the very end now. She's given me back my chain of custody receipt. And she goes, have a nice day. And I'm like, well, thank you. I hope you have a really nice day too. And I smiled at her. She looked up at me and her face lit up and she smiled. And she's like, thank you. That was the most emotion she showed the entire time I was there.
If the Mexican way of life were to take hold for 2 weeks in the U.S., a lot of angst levels and everything else would just because you're human.
Maybe,
good morning, good afternoon. How you don't walk in the store. Do you have? Oh, good morning.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Yeah.
I'm here to see if you happen to have this. Oh, okay. Let's see if we can help you.
I mean, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. LabCorp is a horrible company to work for. And when you're working in a front-facing, customer, patient-facing position, you have to deal with everybody.
Well, if you're dealing with the American public,
I mean, and people they're not nice to you and you get burned out. I totally get it. But I just was like amazed with how much she lit up by me just showing a little bit of kindness to her. I could have left. I could have left thinking, oh God, that was just horrible. Yeah, but I didn't. And it made a difference in her day. So good. I'm glad. Because she was not having a good day.
Yeah.
Oh, I always book first class. They don't charge me for my bags. Yes. And I always overpack. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
yes. And all the extras by the time you're done, guys, here's a tip.
You're paying for it one way or the other.
You're paying for it. If you want that extra leg room, well, let me tell you now too, on American Airline, I think it was 737s.
Yes, it was.
That extra leg room in first class isn't even as much as it used to be, because there were 2 gentlemen in a row in front of me that would not lift their seats back up in standing position. And, I'm bending over like this trying to get out.
You mean they would not return their seat backs to the upright position?
Yes, exactly. And so their seats were kind of leaning back, and I'm still trying to squirm around to get out, but they still have more room. So you get more room, even though it's not as much as it used to be. And you get you get better snacks and better service and just, it's just nicer. The check bag fees are the big,
you had the check bag fees in there and everything else. You're paying the same. You either ride the back of the plane or the front of the plane.
So you get 2 bags automatically, and they can be overpacked, which is great.
Of course, if you're diving, you can't drink if you're going to dive the next day. But
No. We never saw one snowbird. In 10 years, I have never visited the hotel zone and have no wish to do so. Good for you. Lots of new developments. How you come? Okay.
oh,
I don't know that area, but
that entire Riviera Maya is just exploding.
yep.
You know, one of the people that I was in Expat Spanish with, you know, they had a house in Puerto Morelos, and they went,
Oh, it's blowing up the whole
They went-
coast.
we're out of here.
Right.
You know, I mean, between the heat and the constant, you know, expansion and everything else, and where they end up, Querétaro.
Yep. And yeah, I don't drink beer, but I had all the coffees I wanted. And I suppose if I would have asked them for some Baileys or something, they would have given it to me too. I'm sure. I have had the little single serve bottles on previous flights. So I just didn't ask for any. But you know, I'm going to give kudos to my last flight from Dallas back to Querétaro. There was a crew member on there who might have been Haitian, possibly. She was still learning Spanish, and she did have an accent when she spoke English. And she was so super attentive that she carried a clipboard with her with each of the first class passengers' names on it and addressed us by name when asking us if we wanted a pre-flight drink. And then, of course, by name again, you know, during the flight. And then again at the end, she went to each one of us at the end and thanked us for being on the flight.
No, I can tell you, I did this one time in first class, and you know, they come around, you know, oh, so and so, hello,
Right?
and so, Mr. Anderson, would you like a drink? Mr. Anderson, no, Mr. Daly. And she looked at me. She goes, "What? I'm not Mr. Anderson. I'm Mr. Daly. Mr. Anderson's supposed to be in this seat. Are you in the right seat, sir? No, I'm supposed to be in the back, but I thought that this seat was empty, so I came up here and sat down." And so she was going to take my butt all the way in and find my seat. And then finally, I had tried to start explaining, "No, I'm just, you know, yanking your chain." Was not a good flight for me.
No.
So, well, I'm just trying to have fun.
No,
so,
you're
know.
that guy.
Hey.
Oh my gosh. Shame on you. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Okay. So besides bringing 2 rechargeable fans, a heater, and canned oxygen to San Miguel, hopefully that will be enough. 2 rechargeable fans. Like USB charging fans.
Lithium
Okay.
battery.
Heater and canned oxygen. Recommend the heater.
Depends upon when you're there.
Yeah.
The fans you may not really need. I mean, if you're coming, well, let's see, we were in San Miguel all the way through April. That first, I think it was. I think we got there in January, February, March, April. Yeah, we were there
right after
yeah.
Easter.
Yeah, we were there from late January until late April, and I don't think we needed a fan the entire time, but
No.
but that we would turn our space heater on in the morning, and
just to take the edge off.
And then Gina had that weighted heating.
I have a heating pad, a really long one,
and would put that on her lap at the beginning of their work day just to get a little heat going. And
yeah.
But literally, these houses give it 10 o'clock, and you're like, okay,
yeah, it's time to turn the heat off.
Yep.
Internet perfect for work. I believe. Well, I think you're asking about the internet here, maybe, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
No, it's been good. Let me explain what I did. I bought Keep Your Home IP. A little bit pricey, but I didn't want to have to do. Okay, $500.
I'm just giving everybody. I mean, you say a little pricey.
You're like waving. Okay.
No, people are going to want to know. So
there are ways, and there are people who know how to do it, and there is a document out there that helps explain how to do it, where you can set up your own server at your home address in the United States, and then you can use that you can tunnel using that home IP address while you're traveling. I don't have time for that. I just bought the box. You know what? Let support set this up for me, and then I'm good. So that's what I did. So it was called Keep Your Home IP. And I bought that. I had it delivered to his mom's. While I was there, I set up a support call with them. They set up the IP, the static address, and everything for me on, it's a little box that plugs into my mother-in-law's modem or her router, I should say. And then I have another similar box down here that is programmed to mock or, tunnel to that IP address on any internet signal I have, and it works. And it works. Now, you're supposedly only limited by the speeds of the home IP. Well, the home IP at his mom's is Google Fiber, and it's getting 500 megs, which is incredible, right? The internet that is here is getting about 150 megs. And when I use this VPN/home IP box as my server, I'm getting about 50 megs. So it does take it down. But you know what? Video calls are working. When I do Ookla speed test, I'm showing up as being in Kansas City. So I am pleased. That means I can work anywhere in the world that I can get internet signal, and it's going to look like I'm in Kansas City. Yes.
And the other advantage is we're not relying on an 84-year-old woman to be doing our IT problems in Kansas City, because this is just boom, done.
It's just plugged into her Google Fiber.
Yep.
If her Google Fiber goes down, and I think it did one time when I was at her place a year and a half ago, and that was a network outage all around the neighborhood. Otherwise, she never has issues, and she's got underground cables and all that.
Everything's buried in that area.
It's really good. So we're good there. Hey, Mark and Paulette, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. We are having a special dinner this week. A little early, but just for our longtime friends that we have missed in Querétaro.
Yes.
So exciting. Let's see.
And those two will be two that we will also see in San Miguel de Allende.
Yes. Two travelers in Mexico will be at that meet and greet in San Miguel de Allende. Our son has his consulate appointment Friday in Vegas. Fingers crossed, because he's only 21. The financials are in place. Delta and I hope that works out well.
Yeah.
He should not have an issue as long as his financials are in place. He qualifies for temporary. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
But let us know how that goes.
Yes, please. Let's see. And 40 minutes north of Puerto Vallarta. Yeah. I've seen some nice videos from that one guy. I just can't think of his name right now. Hey. Cynthia. Expat Spanish. We love having you both in class, Gina. We hope to see you back when you can. Gracias, Cynthia. I want to. But it's so crazy right now with this new job. And I have meetings every day, and I'm doing all kinds of video watching and training. And I can't right now. I'm so sad. So I want to be in the next available level 5 for sure. I just need to look at a schedule when it's available so I can get in. I think by that time, I will have a better idea of what my daily, schedule looks like, and I'll be able to block off those days on my calendar so nobody bothers me.
Hope she wasn't watching earlier.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to email. I'll email Amy.
Not doing the homework. I mean, yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah, we know.
I know.
Mark never does his homework. We just bought an air purifier, and it seems to be helping with that stuff. Yes. I used to have one, and I let it go during the estate sale. It was big.
Well, yeah,
I know we can't travel with that, but
no. When it comes time to pick a spot, if it happens to be somewhere in the Central Highlands where the dust is that heavy, then that would be something that
for real. But I got a whole lot of body butters when I was up there, and I brought them all back with me, and I'm going to go through them. My skin's just soaking it up. Okay. Terry, what do you think is a comfortable monthly amount needed to be comfortable in Mexico? 25. Okay, so Terry, again, this really goes on what your needs are, and if it's just you,
No,
and
it's him and his wife. They're in their
well,
70s.
okay, yeah, well,
Yeah.
if all you need is a simple one bedroom place with a simple kitchen and maybe a dining area and a seated living space that might all be.
Well, Fred and Cindy in Huatuco.
I was just going to go.
I mean,
Fred and Cindy in Huatuco pay $550 a month for their place.
and what Gina just described is basically what they have with a little office, and
it works perfectly fine for them. That's
Yeah.
$550 a month. That means everything else that you would need, whether it was water, electricity, it wouldn't be that much.
No.
Electricity on a place like that.
you literally
Yeah.
could easily get by at $2,000 with no problem
No
whatsoever.
problem at all. No problem at all.
It really depends on what creature comforts you A, require, and B, you really want. I mean,
if you're going to run air conditioning all the time, it's going to cost you some money.
well, and that also
Yeah.
sort of depends upon where you're at. If
Yeah.
you're in the Highlands,
Yeah.
you're not going to have that type of thing. If you're going to be in Veracruz or Huatuco or Merida, you can be running some air sometime. That's just
Yeah. But
no way around that.
honestly, a small place, they pay $550 a month in Huatuco. They're not in a touristy section of town. They're in a local neighborhood. They shop at local tiendas.
Mhm.
Their place is small, so even if they do run the air conditioning, it's
It
not.
doesn't take a whole lot to cool
Yeah.
everything
So
down.
yeah, it's definitely
But-
possible.
Okay, let's use when we were looking at coming, back here to Querétaro, we were looking, trying to find places we could get a 6-month lease in, and because the leases run less than the Airbnb, and the problem was 6-month stay. If we were willing to stay for a year, we found that there were some places up in the Urquía area that were, extremely nice. I mean, we're talking, 3 bedrooms, a nice kitchen, and parking and a pool area with a gym, that's available for the tenants, that we could get, 17,000-18,000 pesos a month. So, you have to sort of look at it and go, what is it that we're requiring? Do I need, or do I want to have a way of putting, do I need to have a car? Do I need a parking spot for the car? Do I want that? Because on-street parking, there's been some incidents as far as well, I mean, Life with Louie, they had their car broken into, and you see quite a few cars driving around that have got bumps and stuff in it. It means they've hit something. And
Well, that's true.
I mean, just
Well, okay. So Anna, the internet here, it's called Infinitum by Telmex.
yep.
That's what we're using. And yeah, it is really good internet. And I mean, we get like 120, 150 megs down. And I think about
40 to
it's
50.
higher than that. It was 130 up earlier.
Now,
So that's pretty good.
if you turn the VPN on, it throttles
Well,
it.
VPN throttles. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to though. I mean,
Just
it depends on what you're using your VPN for.
I know.
If you're trying to mask where you are so you can watch Netflix.
or if you turn it on, then try and go to Amazon Mexico, it doesn't want to load. So I mean, you have to turn it off to go there.
Let's see. We've been back a few weeks and have yet to recover. Stress is like an itchy, heavy sweater. Oh gosh.
Ugh.
Yeah, no kidding. So true. And Annie, we use our bedside fans year round because the velocity keeps the mosquitoes away. Yeah, we probably should do that in our bedroom. We'll set up our fan. There's a fan up there.
I know, but I just lay in bed with the zapper and wait for them. And then when I'm reading my Kindle, and when they come through.
Let me ask you something there, honey. Last night when you got up to go to the bathroom, who was the one that was laying there in bed like this with that thing?
Well, that was you at the time.
That was me. I didn't want to be. I wanted to be sleeping.
Why?
Therein lies the difference. I want to sleep. I don't want to be laying in bed at 2 or 3 in the morning doing this.
No.
Especially when I have to get up and be on East Coast time to work. Let's see. That's about the, okay. So Stephanie, I always fly first class to Mexico. On my last flight from Houston, the flight attendant had a hard time pronouncing Querétaro. She finally got it right. Everyone cheered and clapped. Oh, that's awesome.
If you really want to hear something interesting, listen to a GPS try and say Tequisquiapan.
Techie scalping.
Techie scalping.
Techie scalping.
It's like, oh.
On my flight, I think she was Haitian. She's learning Spanish, and so she had said that. And so when she came up to take an order from me, I said, I'm going to do this in Spanish. I said, because I need to practice. And she goes, oh no. And all these Mexican people around me start giggling a little bit. And I ordered a café con leche y azúcar. And she totally understood what I said. And there was like some nice smiles going around, because you know why? Because we're trying it. We're attempting it.
That's all they ask.
Yes.
I mean, we had that one video that we dropped, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. And that was from the Mexican nationals who responded to that video. We had a lot of them. I mean, we really did. And 99% of them were, thank you for speaking so well of our country, da, 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 da. We had a handful that were, get your ass across the border, please.
Yeah,
doesn't matter what side of the border, you're going to have some regardless.
Yep.
But the number one thing, please, and we heard this countless times, please, you're welcome to come here.
Spanish.
Respect our culture.
Yep.
And learn to speak our language.
Yep. Many, many, many said that.
If you do those two things, you will be loved in this country. And I can tell you from our time in Veracruz, when our Spanish was piss poor. I mean, it was bad.
It was awful.
I mean, it was awful. And that family, because we tried, were like, here's your abrazo. Give us big hugs because we tried, and it was, we're not here to try and make you like that. No. We want to be like you. And that was just the best.
And thank you, Shane. Yes, Bucieres Joel. Thank you. I just couldn't remember who it was, and I could picture him. And his videos were fun. They were interesting. I mean, he talked a lot about the condo that he was building, but he also talked about the area. And sometimes he had his friends with him, and they would do Spanish phrases that are used in Mexico, and they're literal translations, which really made no sense in English. But it was fun because it just helped you learn some of that colloquialism that you might not know otherwise. So I enjoyed his videos. And Tom, can't wait to meet Annie, Van Hardeline, Mark and Paulette, Craig and KJ, Ernie. Oh, wow. Louisa, Michael. Oh, Tom, okay. Louisa and Michael backed out. I'm so sorry.
Just today,
yes.
Elisa had to send a message out that something had come up and that the two of them were not going to be able to be there.
They're not going to be able to come.
But everybody else you just listed.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll be there too.
I missed so much. I wish I'd seen this live coming. Oh, don't worry about it, Diana. I tried so hard last night to sit here and make a thumbnail and program this. And I was falling asleep at my computer. And I'm like, this is stupid. I'm going to bed.
Okay. It's every 2 weeks on Wednesday, except It's going to be 3 weeks because next Wednesday is Christmas, and the Wednesday after that is going to be New Year's. So it will be January the 8th.
We're
will
going
be
to take
the next one.
It's normally every other Wednesday.
Right.
Normally every other Wednesday. It's just the holiday is going to mess that up a little bit. So
because it's going to be New Year's night. And
right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep shaking the table, guys. I'm so sorry. It's a little wobbly. Here we go. Went to LabCorp 2 in Atlanta. Same exact experience. Look, it's partly LabCorp. They really don't pay their staff enough, and they really don't treat their staff well.
And it's the customer service level in the U.S. now. That's it. Case in point, the gate agent in Dallas, LabCorp employee. I mean, you go to almost any retail establishment, and when was the last time one of them ever looked at you as you walked up and said, "Good afternoon. How can I help you?" And I bet all of you are sitting there going, "Ooh,
And when you're dealing with unhappy public at large, and that's in your front desk person who has to deal with the public at large, and people are just not kind.
No, they're downright nasty.
Day in, day out, and this is your job. Like you just want to die. You hate your life. So
you assume what is being given to you after all that time frame. You just go, if everybody's going to be nasty with me, I give up.
Yeah, it's toxic. It's toxic, and it's
and it's contagious.
Yes. Let's see here. Fiber optics here, just outside Puebla City. Very awesome. We had good internet in Puebla too. Really good internet.
Yeah, we did.
Hey, I think we did have
Oaxaca. It was hit and miss. When it was good, it was very good.
But it was unstable.
Yeah.
Very unstable. See, and again, here's internet. Same internet in Cancun and no complaints in a month. Awesome. Zappers can be fun. Oh, they can be fun. And when we were in Oaxaca, because we had a jardín, and the bathrooms were you had to go in and out from the jardín to the bathrooms, right? They weren't located inside a house. The mosquitoes. And not just mosquitoes. There would be like those little sewer flies, the tiny little gnats and stuff. Mark would go in and it'd be a massacre, insect massacre, zapping them around with that wand. You could hear it going off like, oh, he's in the bathroom again. Oh gosh. You can buy that Zemo mosquito light at Home Depot for like $20. It works. We have a mosquito light, and
then we have the racket.
And we have a racket. Yeah. And you know what? An air movement also does work really well. Those mosquito coils that we have that we burn tend to work pretty well.
I mean, you
really can't burn those in the house.
No, you sort of throw it all together. And I mean, if we're sitting outside, okay, you can go boom, put it on there, do this, do that, and you're good to go.
Pretty sure a spider bit me last night, though, because I've got 2 tiny little bites right next to each other on my arm. It was a little bit itchy today, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it and see. I'm sure it's fine, but I think it's a spider bite. We use bug lights in our home, and they work great. Oh, Boxing Day. Next Wednesday is Boxing Day.
And Christmas.
Yeah. Well, no. I thought Boxing Day came after Christmas. So she's right. So that means Wednesday is Boxing Day. So Christmas would be the day before.
Next Wednesday.
Right.
Today's the 18th.
Oh, no, you're right.
Thank you.
So, so Boxing Day would be the 26th, I think. Because I think Boxing Day is the day after Christmas, right? I think.
I don't know the Canadian ones. But I know when Christmas is. It's a week from now.
Well, Christmas is the same in Canada as it is everywhere else.
I'm just saying I don't know what Boxing Day is, but I know when Christmas is. So.
Oh, gosh. Okay, let's see. What time is... Okay, so, all right. So on Wednesdays, typically our live stream, it's always every other Wednesday, and it's typically 5 Central Mexican time.
No, it's
No,
not.
sorry, 6 Central.
Yes.
It's typically 6 Central Mexican time. The problem is that the U.S. goes back and forth with time, daylight savings. Right now,
It's 7 Eastern, 6 Central.
Right now it's 6 Central U.S. and Mexico,
Mhm.
but sometimes it's 5 Central U.S., 6 Mexico.
We'll worry about that when it gets to spring ahead.
Exactly.
Right now
But
it's 7 Central.
We always look at
6.
6. We always look at 6 Central Mexico. That never changed. That will never change. 6 Central Mexico. That never changes.
Yeah, it does. We did it at 5 when we went on.
So then it's always 6 Central U.S.
Yes.
Whatever the point is it's always 6 Central. Whatever 6 Central.
U.S.
I'm so confused.
It's always 7 Eastern, 6 Central in the U.S. and Canada.
They just need to stop daylight savings.
Whatever, but
Stop it. Stop it now.
7, 6.
Stop it. Just stop it. Then we won't have these conversations. Oh my gosh, what just happened?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm doing like
The
weird.
no-see-ums.
All right, wait. I think I skipped around.
No,
I'm on this.
I know.
Stupid mouse.
Yeah, the no-see-ums. We had those in Veracruz, and oh my God.
Wait. See, we skipped this one.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I know that because of the mouse jumping around. So we know where to go for very reasonable tests, even MRI. Yep.
I mean, Progresso last year, which we're due to have that done again.
Yeah, we're due.
And last year in Progresso, it was $65 each for a full panel. And
all right. So I can tell you, because I worked in the lab.
She works.
I can tell you that a CBC would cost you $200 if you paid cash without insurance. A CBC, unless there's some kind of special cash upfront discount that they're offering. Just a CBC. Well, we had a CBC, a complete metabolic panel, which is 25 plus tests, including thyroid, including thyroid tests,
The urinalysis.
I had a urinalysis in there, and there was another panel. But anyway, all of that would have been like $500 US or more, $65.
And we walked in the morning.
Yep.
The very next morning, results were emailed to us.
Yeah, we had results sent to us. Something about Mexico that a lot of people don't realize, we didn't realize. You're responsible for your medical record. Yes. You get labs done, they send them to you. They may send them to your doctor too, but they're going to send them to you.
If a doctor, like let's say a doctor orders an x-ray.
Yeah.
They share it with particular doctor, that x-ray.
Yes.
But they give all that to you.
They give you the films.
You are responsible for
you get the films.
Records.
So you're carrying your films around. And so you get all your stuff. I would highly recommend anybody who's moving to Mexico, if you, smart thing to do would be every time you get something like that, they're going to send it to you digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on a thumb drive.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you have done.
And that thumb drive, you keep just health records.
Yeah. And then if you have to go somewhere and see a new doctor, take the thumb drive with you.
Yep.
They will have your lab results, your x-rays, your MRIs, your CT scans, all that stuff will be on that thumb drive. You really are your own medical record person. You know, I don't know if Mexico's on track to get to the point where they have electronic health records that they share.
God, please no.
That they share between facilities and everything else. The U.S. is on that track. It doesn't have to be expensive.
It's healthcare. Everything's expensive.
United States healthcare is expensive. But you know, Mexico just recently, within the last couple of years, started doing their immigration records electronically. They're not quite ready yet to do a nationwide electronic health record. So
I like it when the way it is right now, it is doctor, patient.
Yeah.
And gee, the money goes from patient, doctor, not there's a insurance in there. It's doctor, patient,
It is.
and all the information, all the money, everything else flows between those two, and it keeps it down and it keeps it affordable and it's quick.
Yep. So anyway, there you go. And as far as those no-see-ums, ooh, honey, ooh.
Oh my God. Veracruz was
those were so bad in Veracruz, and you could feel them. The difference between a mosquito and a no-see-um is that a mosquito has a long nose piece that pierces your skin. A no-see-um just has these little jaws that chews a hole. They just chew a hole into your skin.
and they keep chewing.
Yes, and that's why they tend to hurt more than a mosquito. Like mosquito bite, by the time you feel a mosquito bite, they're already
They're gone.
done and they're taken off. Those no-see-ums, no, you can feel them. You can feel them. But you can't see them, obviously. But boy, they hurt. They're so irritating. And then the bites they leave are so itchy and last like weeks sometimes. It's terrible, terrible. Oh, Michelle. Oh, I want to thank you for sharing your artwork. Thanks. I've picked up colored pencils and I'm loving them. Again, I'm a person art retreat with you leading would be amazing. Oh, an art retreat. Wow, that is something to certainly think about. I've done it. I've done classes before. I used to instruct some classes for an art gallery as part of a community project, but it's been a while. And yeah, that would be fun. I just have to find the time. Now that I'm working, that's going to be hard. I'm working. I'm doing the 40-hour week. All my little excess projects that I had are kind of going to get sidelined, I think. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, between this and
Yeah,
work, that
yeah.
pretty much, Deet does.
DEET works really well, but you know what? I don't know what it is. Every time I try to spray that stuff, it gets in my mouth and it tastes terrible. And I don't think it's supposed to be there. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Boxing Day. Boxing Day, I thought was always a day immediately following Christmas. Because I don't know the tradition of Boxing Day, but isn't that where you kind of like take the stuff that you didn't want from Christmas maybe and repackage them? I'm not really sure.
I don't know. Are you reaching?
I don't know. I really don't know. That's probably the most ignorant, stupid thing to say. It's all because in the US, they never teach us anything about Canada or Mexico. They just don't. The only reason I know about Boxing Day is I once had a Canadian boyfriend.
But to be fair, we don't know what they teach in Mexico or Canada about the U.S. either. So
no, that's true.
I know
we certainly know a whole lot more about Greek and Roman.
I agree with that
than we do about our neighbors.
Before you toss everybody under the bus, we don't know what they're doing as well.
I know. Oh, that's right. That's right, Tom. Dia de los Tres Reyes. It's not till January 6th. And I was so shocked that basically that cake is freaking king cake, like Mardi Gras king cake. And they got it here too. And it's got a baby in it, just like king cake. That blew me away the one time I learned that from Ernie on his channel. It's like, you kidding me? How? Gina, how on earth you get up that early to do tech work? It's taking some adjustment.
And she's a night owl.
I tend to be a night owl, and it's really taking some adjustment.
No, not 10. She is a night owl.
Yeah. It's not easy. Last night I was exhausted. It was 9 o'clock and I could not keep my eyes open last night. That's why I didn't schedule this live until around lunchtime today, because I was just exhausted.
It was earlier than 9, but that's okay. Yeah.
What was?
When you were sitting over there just going,
but I was actually in the bed at 9.
Yeah, no, I know, but you were.
Because I was passing out. I couldn't. Yeah. But I enjoy doing what I do so much. I really do. I like what I do.
And what's really interesting about the two of us is we're totally opposite on that. Because I am the morning person. I mean, I'm retired. Oh yeah, it's 5:30. It's time to get up. Okay, I slept in. I mean, that's
Yeah. Yeah. My doctor was very surprised to see the labs I got done in Mexico last year. I told her I will wait and do them again here this year because it's so much cheaper. Why wouldn't you? And the thing is what we noticed, I don't know if your doctor noticed it, but the labs we got done, they actually did more than what they would typically do in the US. There was like extra tests on there. There was even a test I never even heard of before. I had to look it up. I'm like, well, that's an interesting, it was a calculation of some kind. They don't do that calculation in the US. So doctors aren't used to seeing it. I'm like, well, isn't that interesting that they included this? Why not? You know? Oh, Alejandra. Hola, Alejandra. Your hair looks awesome and you look very pretty. Thank you. And
no, that's just happy. I mean, that's, and Alejandra, that is all due to the beauty of the Mexican people.
Yeah.
Because all we do is mirror the joy and happiness that is down here.
We're just happier here. We're happier. Okay, I am wearing makeup. So, I mean, I do have makeup on. Filters, there might be a small filter that's being used for a little bit of softness, but we don't use it a lot because there's nothing I hate more than a filter that is so soft that somebody's nose starts to disappear.
Well, it's like watching the women in the 1940s and 50s film noirs.
Yeah.
Where the guys are shot with it crystal clear, and then they cut to the femme fatale, and it's so soft. And it's like, oh, God.
Yeah, no. There is a very, very slight filter. It's only to take the harshness off, particularly with this lights, but no filters. It's just, I actually put in the effort to put some makeup on.
and the love of the Mexican people.
And I'm just, look, I'm sure you guys that, you've seen us. I'm just happier because number one, I'm working again, earning some money. We're in a city that we love. And we're about to see a bunch of friends we haven't seen in almost 2 years. And and I'm working a job that I really like.
And if you really want to see the difference, go back and pick any one of the first 50 videos that we did.
Oh God!
I'm not talking about the quality, but as far as is the difference between what we were in the States and what we are now. Now, we also have gotten a lot more comfortable here talking to you. We look back at those early videos and we go, oh my God, we suck.
We were bad. We were so bad.
And we thought we knew it all, but
yeah, no. Is Mark drinking again? See what contract renewals do?
You damn Skippy.
Yeah, he's drinking again. He's got himself some Carta Blanca now.
Well, I'm back in the Highlands.
That's right. That's right. Date for the Paula and Mark and Ernie meetup. Where? I know I thought about it before, but I forgot details. Diana, it is January 25th in San Miguel de Allende.
Yep.
We just don't have a time or a venue, but I can tell you
it is occurring.
It's going to be in the afternoon and evening of January 25th.
Uh-huh. And right now, oh my God, we got a symphony of dogs that are singing right now to us.
They're singing.
There are 8 different YouTube channels that are going to be there right now. That it was up to 10. We had to have a couple of them had personal reasons that things came up, they couldn't get there, and so I think it's 7 or 8 right now, different channels that will be participating.
Oh, so this is the description of Boxing Day. Okay, so it's a British holiday, which of course is carried over into Canada. Rich landowners would pick up leftovers and take it to the people who rented their land. Very nice. They would box up the leftovers. So then I guess that means food.
They get the
leftover food.
Christmas food dinner.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, we're going to have some people Friday night that are going to be doing exactly the same thing. They're going to be taking some home.
We're going to be taking some home. Feliz Navidad, todos. Desde algún lugar de México no hay bichos donde estoy. Take it, baby.
I got everything except I'm worried about the bichos.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think we know what bichos means.
And
So.
I could be going out on a limb there, but okay, next.
Hola, David. Or it should be David. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. to work online every day. I've been trying to get up at 5:30, but what ends up happening is I keep hitting the snooze.
Well, trust me, she does.
I'm definitely out by 6 because
Yes.
I have to come downstairs, brew my coffee, make my egg sandwich for breakfast, and then I carry all my junk up there and get logged on at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me, I'm awake before the first alarm goes off. So
Siesta at 1. I have been too busy to siesta. So when I do have lunch, I'm coming back downstairs and I'm either doing something for the channel or I'm eating lunch or making lunch or something. But I've only been back since Sunday. So, I've had something to do every day, like unpack, put my things away. When we first got here.
Yeah, I wasn't doing, I did my stuff.
Right.
I mean,
when we first got here, the very next morning, I was flying out. So all of my things still need to be unpacked and put away.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Annie, Yvette, and Arlene, because they were here to help us unload the car, which was like, because, 2 years of doing this is wearing on us. And those two were like, where do you want this? Where do you want this? Where do you want this? And boom, 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 boom. And so the car was, and this is the first time in probably a year that car has been totally empty.
100% unpacked.
100% during anything in that car. And it was like, we're getting all of it out of here. We're putting it all away. And so during the course of the week, I got all my, while she was gone, I got all my stuff was done, got to put it away and everything. And I'm like, if I put this away, I'm going to put it in the wrong spot. So I'm just,
Yes, that's true.
No, I know it. That's why I was like, I'm waiting for her to come home. She got her stuff where she wanted in the right room. Then slowly we've been, okay, now we're, putting stuff out of sight, out of mind. And it's sort of like, for 6 months, we're not going to have to touch this stuff. Oh, thank you.
Yes, I know. I'm just like, now this is funny. Be careful how you use the word bichos. In Argentina, it means bugs, insects. In Puerto Rico, it means men's genitalia.
That's why I wasn't going there, because I had a feeling it was like.
Well, it's like when I went to the vet with the 2 kittens that we were rescuing. They were trying to decide if they were male or female. We really didn't know. When one person checked it out and they showed me that it was male, and they said the word, and I said, "Oh, huevos," because that's kind of like the word for balls here. And but I don't know.
Eggs.
Yes, huevos means balls as well. And but I don't know when the appropriate time is to use such a term. It might not have been in the vet's office because everybody kind of snickered a little bit and just kind of laughed it off.
Yeah.
Kitty had balls.
There's certain times where you just sort of go, you know what? If you don't know, shut up.
Hey, let's see. I've been here listening and learning. You two have a great holiday season. Lisa and I are definitely going to try to make it month to meet everyone. Awesome. Awesome, Terry. Awesome. You have a wonderful holiday as well.
Terry, go to gringosrust.com and on the contact us, send us an email and we'll talk to you about that.
Yeah. JH, this is a good question. So do you guys just hop around, or are you buying in a specific location? If you would buy, where exactly would you buy based on your experience?
Well, we're only halfway through.
Yeah, we actually
and then we're taking a 6-month pause, so we still have
We
about
have
15 months left of traveling.
We kind of whittled our list down to about 25 places to visit roughly in 4 years.
And that may be compressed even further because
Possibly. We wanted to try to spend at least 1 month, maybe 2, maybe 3 in each place to really get a feel for it. Because that's one of the biggest mistakes that some people make when they move here is they just go land someplace for 2 weeks. Oh, this looks great. And then they buy a place and then they have to live the first year there and they realize that maybe it's too hot, maybe it's too cold, maybe it's too noisy, maybe there's too many bugs. And now they're stuck with this piece of property.
Or they do it in a hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the advantages of doing the Airbnb is that we are at least in a barrio. We may not be in the barrio in a city that we want to ultimately drop anchor and go, this is where we're going to be. But being in a hotel, you typically aren't going to be in a barrio that you might rent in. And so that's one of the things that we wanted to experience was we want to know what it's going to be like on a daily basis. Okay, hey, what's it like to walk around the corner to the tienda?
Yeah.
I mean, use Oaxaca as an example. The tienda around the corner, I walked in and all I had was a 500 boleta.
Yeah.
A 500 peso bill. They didn't have any change at that particular time.
Yeah.
And I was buying, 2-3 liter Cokes. And he just looked at me and goes, es buen, más tarde, paga más tarde. And I'm like,
where would you go?
What?
Where would you go where the store would say, just take it with you, come back and pay me later?
And I'm standing there in disbelief. And he's like, no, es buen, es buen. Take him with me. And, the next day walked over and I was like, tarjeta? And no, es buen, es buen. So learning the neighborhood is almost as important as learning the city. And so, our ultimate plan is that about 20 months from now. Yeah, 20 months from now, we're actually going to have to make the decision of where we're going to drop anchor. Originally we were going to go, we're going to do 4 years and then, we're slow. Eventually, the light bulb went on and we're going, dumb butts, you're going to need time to get to the city while you have the car. You're going to need time to find a place to live. You need to unload everything. And then you have to drive to the border, sell the car, and come back. So we went, okay, we got to cut this short. Instead of 48 months, we're doing 45 months worth of traveling. So the last 3 months we can concentrate on where we're going to finally settle down. So, where right now, if
we're going to have to side by side sit down and say, here's our top 5. And then we're going to have that discussion and decide which place is going to be the place.
And see, I was fixing to say the exact opposite.
Oh,
we're going to have to separate and go, here's my list.
Yeah.
Well, you said side by side.
Well,
I mean, but
then we're going to put them together.
Privately go, here's my top 5. Here's her top 5. And okay, if there's 3 cities on the list of the top 5 that are on both of them, well, the other 2 cities that aren't on there instantly get, unless you can make a real compelling case to convince one of us, and good luck with that, because I know us both were stubborn as hell. Okay, so those are the 3, and we'll just go from the 3 and go.
So we're going to pick one.
Pick one.
We're going to pick one. We would probably lease a place for at least a year while we look to see if there's something we want to buy. I say that because I still feel very strongly that you really need to give a place the full year.
In the barrios. I mean, that's the other part of it.
Yes.
I mean, it's, Here in Querétaro, I think both of us would agree that if we could right now almost buy a place in Calesa,
We probably would,
we probably would.
because we like Calesa so much.
I mean, the Calesa neighborhood here in Querétaro, shh, don't tell anybody, but
well, and then we have Anivet and Arlene on here who were here for 5 weeks and
in 5 weeks, and
they bought a house,
and they walked around, and damn if they didn't get it right. I mean, I mean, their house is absolutely adorable, and they have done so much with it, and they put a nice, beautiful outdoor bar that we've had some late nights around that thing, having a lot of fun and singing at the top of our lungs, acting Mexican, and it's just so. There's no right or wrong, but our way of thinking is we want to make sure that if we're going to buy a place, it is in the neighborhood that we want and one that we're comfortable in being in.
Where would we buy? It's going to be, I would say right now, our top locations are San Luis Potosi, Querétaro, Huatulco, if we could find the right situation. It's really hot there, and it's kind of more expensive than some places we've been.
And it's only going to continue to get that way.
I know.
I mean, because
I know
Huatulco is an engineer. If people don't know that, Huatulco is an engineered city by the Mexican government, and it is going to be Tulum West. That's what it's going to end up being.
We really liked Merida a lot, but Merida has experienced a rapid rise in inflation and property values. So they got a little too expensive, and it's really hot there, and the electricity was pretty high.
Not pretty high. It was the highest that we've seen in all of Mexico.
Except for Progreso, which was worse.
Well, same. I mean, 30 minutes away. I mean.
So that's kind of where we are about where we would buy it. We have like our top 2 or 3, but we're not done doing the tour, so there could be others. We're not really sure yet.
I mean, we still have Ajijic, Guadalajara, Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, La Paz.
We may end up somewhere and be there for a year and say, maybe let's try someplace else.
And to be honest, we you guys see his name on here quite frequently. It's Winston, and we've met Winston and his lovely wife Terry, several times. And he's like, yeah, I know you guys are going to end up in Querétaro, but it's like, and he goes, it wouldn't shock me at all if you guys get up there and drop anchor and go, no more. We're done with the travel. And there's a part of us that goes, giving up the travel is not a horrible thing. But the problem is there's so much more of this country to see, and just sort of circle and take all this in the full circle from where we started on this whole thing was in 2024. We started at the Excellence Resort in Puerto Morelos, and we have in the past year driven the entire southern part of Mexico. I mean, this is the 7th city
this year.
In 2024, this is the 7th city. And we're not talking cities that we only spent one night in, because we have done that. I mean, we back in Merida for a night and Villahermosa for a night, on the drive over to Tuxtla Gutierrez. And so we've seen a lot of Mexico just in this year.
This last year was quite a bit.
Yeah.
Surprisingly so.
And, we've seen a lot of things that have really been eye-opening. The migrants walking the highways in Chiapas, heading north. I mean, it's just been, wow.
I'm pushing forward. Are you going to be live streaming on January 25th? No, because it's not a Wednesday. We will be live on January 22nd because we are taking off. We should be streaming on January 1st, but it's a holiday and we're taking the day off.
Well, I think what he's wanting to know is, are we going to be streaming from the event?
Oh, from the event. You know, that's going to depend
And
on
that's a question that Ernie has posed as well. And
that's going to depend on internet signal.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And out of the 8 they're going to be there, I think there's only 2 of us that routinely live stream.
Yeah, and it's really hard to know what to show, because if it's sort of a meet and greet mixer with with subscribers and friends and people who were interested in meeting these different YouTube channel people, really it's hard to know what exactly should we be live streaming. I don't think we have like a program of events where somebody's going to have like a workshop or a roundtable discussion kind of thing. I think it's going to be more of just like getting together and meeting, unless we can come up with something a little more organized than that. At the moment, the biggest thing we're trying to worry about and we're trying to get nailed down is venue and time. As soon as we can get venue and time in place, then we can talk about whether we want to do something like that.
Yeah,
like a Q&A or something.
I think that one of the things that has been discussed is that using the 8 is, if we do a roundtable conversation, breaking it down into 10-minute segments, and segment 1 could be on retired life Mexico, no bull. Segment 2 could be here. Segment 3 could be on Two Travelers Mexico. Segment 4 could be on Truly Remarkable Life, and so on and so on and so on, to try and give everybody a little bit more of an exposure to some of these other channels.
Sweet. Oh, this is a very good question. As soon as I can get my computer to allow me
if she had her mouse instead of having to use
I'm like, oh, come on now. Here we
See,
go.
now that she's all set up for work.
I know everything's upstairs now. So what are the laws working remotely if you are not in the USA? Well, in Mexico, you can work anywhere you want to work, as long as you are not working for a Mexican company, because you need to have a permit, basically, to work in Mexico. A work visa, right. So you can be working for any company outside of Mexico as a resident. You do not pay taxes on that income that you earn in Mexico, with regard to, at least with the United States, because the United States and Mexico have an agreement back and forth.
Yep.
About
reciprocal agreement.
The United States, of course, you would still, if you're working for a U.S. company, you would still be responsible for your income taxes for your state and federal. And
but
a lot of companies in the United States are not on board letting you work remotely outside of the United States for an extended period of time. Some of them might let you do it like 2 weeks, that kind of thing. But for an extended period of time, a lot of them are not keen on letting you do it, and they won't allow you to do it. That might be mostly because the IRS requires U.S. employers to report how many of their employees are working outside of the United States. And so that puts the onus on the company to track that, and that's a pain in the butt for them. They don't want to do that. That's just extra paperwork for them. So you are more likely to find work remotely from a U.S. company if you were an independent contractor. So you are an LLC or something of that nature, and you are basically working corporate contracts or 1099 contracts. That is more than likely going to get you. They're not going to care where you're working, because what they're probably only going to want from you at that point is proof of liability insurance, and that's it.
Now, the other but on that is your tax liability, because your first 112 or 122.
I don't remember anymore.
I can't remember. It's either 112 or $122,000 is tax free, and there is an excellent tax preparer located in Mexico City who specializes in dealing with gringos who are working just like she does as digital nomads, and they know exactly how to file the paperwork. And not this year, but last year, we got
everything back.
Everything back.
We got all our taxes back because we were under that amount. And it's not just Mexico City. I mean, these forms are available. I used it.
But I'm just saying that
I used a tax service. It might have cost me $30 or $40 to use them. They completed all the paperwork. Everything was filed in like minutes, literally minutes. And there was no issue. We just got the refund. No issue at all.
No.
Yeah.
This year we don't have to really worry about it because
I didn't work.
She didn't work all year, and so all we do is Social Security, and we officially will be now under the poverty level. So I mean,
but because we're also domiciled in South Dakota, there's no state income tax.
Income tax.
So I literally didn't have to pay any income tax on anything that I earned.
Social Security and FICA, and that was it.
Yeah. But then, of course, if you earn more than that cutoff limit, then you do have to pay the taxes for everything you earned after that.
Correct.
It's just that you don't get double taxed. That's the whole difference. That's that relationship that Mexico and the United States have with each other, is that there's not a double tax. You're either paying tax in Mexico or you're paying tax to the U.S., one or the other.
Pick one.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, let's see. Oh, Tom, here we go. Give us your top choices during a live stream. Put it to a vote and let your audience decide on your final location. Yeah, but some of our audience is very heavily concentrated in specific locations, and they would vote heavy for those places.
Boy, you being politically correct. We love you guys, but hell no.
Hell no what?
We're not letting them decide. I love all y'all, but you all have different biases to going, oh yeah, come here, come there, come
I know. Google Translate. Bichos means vermin, but in the sentence there are no bugs here. Maybe I should have said what I know.
Nada insectos.
Nada insectos aquí.
Wait, you got a whole thread started there, David.
I mean, we could start talking about, huevos and chaquetas and
Vengas.
Yeah. It honestly, Google Translate, let me think.
Yeah.
When I translate these videos that we do, our normal videos, into multiple languages, there must be 5 or 6 versions of Spanish. And one of those versions is Mexican Spanish, and another version is another Spanish. And there's all these different versions of Spanish. There's different versions of French, and there's also different versions of German. And it's got to be, I have to guess, it has to be because each region has specific words and phrases that are used differently than another region.
Duh.
So that might be what's. It's kind of like a hood on a car here would be a bonnet in England.
I was just going to say in the U.S., the difference between somebody talking in Boston and somebody talking in New Orleans.
Boston.
They both may be saying they're speaking English, but put the two of them together, and trust me, there's some thought process going on trying to figure out what the other one's saying.
It's a wicked pisser.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. So fun. I haven't been to a lot of places in Mexico, but I've been to Querétaro, and I personally like Guadalajara and Lake Chapala regions, a location a lot better. I'm curious to see where you end up. We're curious too. We don't know where we're going to end up.
I mean, a lot of it, honestly, what we're finding out, Shane, is the one constant in all of Mexico is the people.
Yep.
Yeah, the people have been phenomenal in every location that we have been in, bar none. I mean, and so the difference is really going to come down to a sense of comfort, And there's some cities that we have hit that we have instantly sort of gone, oh yeah,
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I loved Puebla. I loved Puebla.
Huatulco. I mean,
We liked Huatulco too.
Huatulco.
Yeah.
You hit Central Huatulco, and you're just sort of like, damn, there's a different little feel around here, and
Mhm.
it's just like, okay, but it's not cheap. But the difference between the feel in Huatulco and the feel in Tulum is night and day.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
us.
The
I
way
mean,
the way it feels to us.
yeah, the way it feels to us, would I settle down in Tulum?
No.
You couldn't pay me.
No.
You could not pay me.
Not at all.
Huatulco, it would not take a whole lot of convincing for me to go, did I call that home? Yeah.
Yeah. Huatulco's got a lot going
A
for
lot going for it. And
it's just it's a little expensive and it's getting more expensive and it is so hot. So hot.
and so it really it's
Yeah. Ah, David, necesito supervivencia español. Okay, Tom. Guadalajara
so
and Chapala are
I'm
my
thinking
first choices.
Ricky Valdez, I think
He was talking about the event.
Yes, he's in
Yes.
on the event.
Okay. Yes, the event.
Ricky, if you could send either Ernie Baca an email at info at Retired Life Mexico No Bull, or to us here at gringosrus.com. No, hold on. Gina Mark at gringosrus.com.
Yeah.
I have to remember which order.
Gina Mark.
Gina Mark.
Gina Mark.
Yeah. Alphabetical order. Gina Mark at gringosrus.com. If any of you are thinking of attending, either send it to Ernie, send it to us so that we can get a better count as to how many people to expect.
Except, yeah, I mean, like it's not really so much for us to assist with some kind of reservations or anything, because especially Mark and I, we're so removed from it. To be fair, Ernie lives there and he knows the area better, so he's able to ascertain what might work. And he was talking about a vineyard, vineyard type place might be a good place to have a larger group get together like that. And I agree. I think that's a great idea, but we don't know the area like he knows it. So I'm trying to work on the invites to the YouTubers.
We're dealing with the
yeah.
Folks, this all really started out because I hope Stephanie's still on here. Stephanie said, I'm going to be in San Miguel until sometime in February. And so I contacted Ernie and I went, Ernie, let's do a meet and greet. Your subscribers, us, we get together and we'll just do this little thing.
Yeah.
And so then it just sort of went, and now it's
so the KJ and Craig, they're going to be there. Yeah. We tried to get together with them to do a collab at one point when we were in
Tulum and
it didn't work out.
Something came up, they couldn't make the trip.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to finally meeting them. But yes, they are going to be there. They've already got their place reserved.
Yeah, they already announced that they're going to be there. I think they booked their Airbnb from like the 24th through the 29th, something like that. But yeah.
We want to go explore Manzanilla de Lopez and Mazamitla. Did I say that right? Mazamitla. South of Lake Chapala. Friends, and he keep telling us they think we'd especially love those areas. Well, definitely worth checking out. I mean, the best way to find out is to just go there and experience it.
That's the hardest part. I mean, we've had, oh my God. One of the things we never expected when we started this channel, we never expected all of you. We never clue that all of a sudden, this was going to mushroom into what it has become.
Yep.
And so we get suggestions, try here, try here, try here, try here, try here. And a lot of them are on our list. But the hard part is that we are unique individuals. Trust me. Ask Tom, ask Arlene, ask Annie Vet. And we like do okay, it's me. But there are certain requirements. And yes, both of us, there are certain requirements that we have. And so finding that place, just because somebody goes, I think you're going to like this place. We don't know that. I mean, and they don't know us always well enough to be able to go, yeah, this is what they're like. They will fit in here. Because we've had countless people say, Riviera places in Riviera Maya. No. You know, and bless you. There are people who have said, oh, San Miguel. Love San Miguel.
Oh, I love San Miguel. As an
Love
artistic person, I think it's gorgeous.
Would I live there?
It's hard. It's hard because I really felt claustrophobic on some of the streets, particularly close to Centro, because the sidewalks are so incredibly narrow that you can't get two people on the same sidewalk. Somebody's stepping off into the street. Well, now you got cars that are parked. Where are you stepping off to? And then there's also traffic.
And then,
you know, and the cobblestone and the sidewalks are sometimes they're really high up and you're stepping a
then
foot.
all of a sudden there's a dip for a driveway.
It's a lot of uneven walking, and you can easily twist an ankle, break a hip. There's a lot of things that can happen.
Now project yourself 10 years down the road, and you suddenly start going,
I mean, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It will always be one of my favorite places to visit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this right now. There are two places that I will always go back to in Mexico to visit.
I know where the second one is.
One is San Miguel.
Yes.
And the second one is when it's time to just go unplug.
Yes.
My ass is going to San Cristobal de las Casas, and I'm going to rent that same house, and we're going to sit there on that front porch
and rocking those
rock
rocking chairs.
our ass off on that front porch and just go.
That San Cristobal was just so relaxing.
That was a side of Mexico we never saw.
Oh, it's awesome. And
other than the Guatemalans invading.
I can smell the pine.
Yeah.
It was so nice. Oh, this is a very good question. I would love, we have not searched for real estate because
I can tell you the answer.
But we have friends. We have friends who help. And I'm going to I think I might actually have captions for them. Let me see. Do I? Oh, shame on me. I do not. Okay. Well, we're going to tell you who they are. I'm going to type it. My place at Querétaro.
Yep.
If I can type it. I cannot type. All right. My place at Querétaro. I just put it in the comments. It's Liz and Romy, and there's like a third blind partner. They basically work with both sales and rentals. They speak fluent English, and
Liz speaks French. She's been working on that.
Liz speaks some French, yes. They really take a personal, put a personal touch into their relationship with their clients. They get to know you. They do a Zoom call and everything before you even arrive. They find out all the intricate details about what sort of things you're looking for, what is important to you that you have access to, all that stuff. And then you can schedule to do a neighborhood tour with them. And when you get here,
the Colonia,
they will take you on the
Colonia tours.
Colonia tours, yeah. And they'll take you to neighborhoods that fit the needs that you have
described to them,
which you worked out with them. And that is literally how Annie, Yvette, and Arlene bought their house. They were actually in that neighborhood, and it was in the neighborhood where they were at.
They were doing the Colonia tour.
Yeah.
And Annie, Yvette, and Arlene, they were showing them a house across the street. And they looked over and they went, "What about that house?"
Oh,
"Yeah, that's available."
yeah.
And they literally went, "We want to see that house this afternoon."
And they were on it.
And Romy, let me explain this about Liz and Romy. We've never been a customer of theirs. We had breakfast with them, and when we sat down, when we walked away from that breakfast
Yep.
with those two ladies, we had friends for life.
Yep.
We felt like we had known them for our entire life, and it was like, okay,
They take a personal interest in their clients.
they don't come any better than those two. That's the best
Yes.
recommendation I can give. And so Romy goes, "Well, let me call the agent. We don't normally do this on a Colonia tour." And the agent that was listing the house was like, "I can be there this time." And Annie, Bet, and Arlene,
Yeah.
if you know them, you would understand.
We do recommend My Place at
Yeah,
Querétaro.
they were like, "Let's go."
They are very knowledgeable. They're very well connected. They know everybody. They can help get things done beyond just getting the place to live.
Trust
So
me.
they are really good to work with, and they absolutely are interested in finding perfect places for you based on your needs. So, and they put the work in to find out what your needs are.
And
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anybody better than them.
No,
No.
in my dealings in real estate, U.S., Mexico, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Those are the two best women that I have ever encountered as far as doing that, period.
Yep. Yeah, they're excellent. So, I mean, that's about all we really know, but at least the ones we know, we would trust with our lives, frankly. You know, they're very, very good at what they do, and they take a very personal interest in making sure that you're satisfied with their services and that you're happy in the
Yep.
home that they've helped find for you. So Mark's getting woozy.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Hey there. Gina, what about self-employment tax as an independent contractor? I've been told you still have to pay those. Yes, you do.
Yes.
You have to pay self-employment. You have to, so that would be, you'd be paying your Social Security and your FICA. And I don't think, what else? I think that's it.
You could be paying the unemployment tax.
Unemployment tax. That's right. Unemployment tax. You would be responsible for all those things. And to be honest, I haven't had to do it quite yet because I wasn't employed all last year. So the year before that, I was doing a W-2, and this last year I wasn't employed at all. So, but I do have an LLC. It didn't take a lot of money to get that. Well, $200, something like that. And I also have, I forget what they call it exactly, but I have an agent who handles all the important things for me. And it cost me like an extra $50 or something. So whenever the note filing agent,
Yeah, 3 files.
yeah. So they do all my filings and stuff for me, but I would have to do, those payments. You could do those quarterly, I believe, or annually. You may pay it up at the end of the year, whatever the case may be. Yes, you do have to set money aside, and you are responsible for those. No matter where you live. Yep. Mark, there's that Mark getting woozy. So you guys ever fight? I imagine being with the spouse all the time and then one hating Mexico. Well, first of all, you don't do this trip if you're not on the same page.
No.
You both have to want it. If one is hesitant, you are going to be miserable.
No. If one is only 99% of the way bought in, it ain't gonna work. You have to be both.
You both have to be bought in 100%.
All the way, because you become totally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you hit this country, you think about it. You have nobody else to depend upon, nobody else to rely on, and in a lot of the places, you have nobody else that even speaks your language.
Sometimes, yeah.
And so it's right
So,
there. So,
do we fight? Yes.
oh shit, don't be in the car with us when we're going from city to city.
That's when we have our worst
That's
fights.
when we have our fights. I mean,
he's hard of hearing, and
Huh?
he's supposed to wear hearing aids, and he doesn't. And then he's also unable, because of his vision and what he uses when he's driving. He can't really see the GPS screen too well while he's driving. He's concentrating on the driving. And so that's kind of a distraction, and it's hard to see and study it. So I'm navigating. And so now I'm calling out things to him that I'm getting off the navigation screen. He doesn't always hear everything I'm saying. And he has a tendency to have a lead foot and ride too close to people, which just freaks the hell out of me. And so just driving, just these little differences, that's the worst fights we have.
It literally is, because we're in places we don't know.
Yeah. And it's stressful.
And the stress comes on then, because it's like, oh God, we want to get there before it gets dark.
Yep.
Because we don't like driving in Mexico at night. That nothing is more stressful than driving in Mexico at night. Yep. Because the topes, the animals, there's all sorts of things. And we're not talking about safety as far as outside influences. We're just talking about road safety.
We're not talking about crime. This is road hazards.
Yeah. And so it just, and then like the drive from Oaxaca to Puebla was a 4.5 hour drive. It took us 9 hours.
Yeah. Because the highway got shut down. There was a major accident, and we didn't move for 3 hours.
It literally took us an hour to go from one end of the OXXO parking lot to the other end of the OXXO parking lot.
Yeah.
1 hour.
But yeah, we fight. I think that's a healthy part of any relationship. It's, what do you do with the fight? How do you resolve your fight? And what actions are you taking during your fight? We're not physically violent to each other at all.
No, and
never have been. But
no,
it's not a perfect, flawless marriage.
No, and the other thing is Garth Brooks, we buried the hatchet, left the handle sticking out. We don't play that game.
No.
Shit that happened 10 years ago, that was 10 years ago. That has nothing to do with what's now. So,
but being around each other all of the time, that you learn to give yourself some space
and give the other some space.
Yeah.
I mean,
he watches his sports. I'll go play a video game or do something, work on YouTube or whatever. Now I'm working. I'm on a totally different floor of the house for half the day, and he's down here watching TV or doing whatever he wants to do. So,
answering YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
we give each other space. I would say we are 99.9% of the time never go to bed angry.
Oh God! I can count the number of times that's happened on one hand, and
the years that we've been together.
Yeah. And neither one of us feels good about doing it.
No, not at all.
It's because
we do rely on each other, and we recognize that we need each other.
We finish each other's sentences. I mean, we do, and quite often we have the same exact thought, and it's so. Yeah, it ain't perfect, but I tell you what, ain't changing it.
What perfect is boring. I don't know. Oh, Puebla is on our list, and we still want to visit.
I would highly recommend it.
I loved Puebla. And I probably loved it a lot because the Airbnb we had was so incredibly comfortable, so very cosmopolitan, and so very close to everything in Centro.
No, I'd agree with that. I mean,
it was just a really comfortable stay in a nice centralized area.
And that was one of the most upscale Airbnbs that we have been in, period.
I mean, close to luxury level.
Yeah. I mean,
That will be this weekend's video.
Coming up.
Tune in on Saturday. I think that this one might have given the luxury house by the river a run for its money.
Yeah, but if I had to choose between two, I know which one I'm going for.
I'm going for the house by the river.
You damn skip.
Yeah, but it was really cool.
It was
a nice place. I love that vineyard. It's beautiful. Which vineyard? Is it the one? Maybe the one Ernie was.
I don't know. They're having some type of conversation.
I'm missing something. Okay.
Yeah, I think that Tom's talking about
a vineyard. I just did a little homework on the great vineyards and even local natural spring spa in the area. Oh my gosh, Tom, yes.
Atotonilco.
Yeah. I also have friends who recently bought a place. Okay, very cool. Yeah. One of our favorite places to visit that isn't too far away from there is Dolores Hidalgo.
Oh.
Man, I like Dolores Hidalgo. That is a place I could live. I could live.
The interesting thing about Dolores Hidalgo was we were 3-4 months into our stay here. And both of us are history people. I mean,
oh my gosh.
Both of us love history. And then we hit Dolores Hidalgo. And we had not encountered Mexican history like it was when we hit Dolores Hidalgo. And suddenly it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is where it all started.
Yeah.
And then it culminates
but
it culminates with where we just were at.
Yeah.
In Puebla. And suddenly we're like, we have now toured Mexico and come full circle. Started here. And then the powder keg was here in Puebla. And
it was very cool. And they had really fun flavored ice creams in Dolores Hidalgo. Arlene, Romy, who found our home and referred us to someone to buy a car, helped us with everything when we first got here. Yes. So JH, again, my place at Querétaro. Romy and Lise, they know everyone. They can help you with everything. They can help with rentals. They can help with home purchase. They can help with bank accounts, getting your car bought, registered, all the things. Romy
knows everybody.
I mean, they're awesome and they care. That's important.
That's the important
They
part.
care. They have a very personal touch and they care that you are happy with their service and you're happy with your home.
I mean, we've never spent a dime with them. Yet they are two of our closest friends here in Mexico.
There we go. That's right, Tom. We had a few nights out there on the Malecón. A few nights in Progreso on the Malecón. We had some good times. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. And we went to that nature reserve where they have the coatis and raccoons. That was fun. Mm-hmm. And swimming in the cenote. Mark was basically guarding our stuff.
Hey, I'm captain of the shit. You put the stuff here, I'm responsible.
Yeah. Okay. It's another good question. What vehicle do we drive and did we import it? We have a temporary import permit. Mm-hmm. We paid roughly whatever the permit fee is plus
300, 340.
No, we paid the permit fee. Remember, you were in the bathroom when I got it. We paid the permit fee and then we had a $400 deposit. That deposit gets returned to us when we take the car back to the United States. So we have a Kia Sorento.
Yes, we do. 2012. And fortunately, the engine blew up before we left the United States. And Kia covered that lock, stock, and barrel and was like, oh, that's our bad. Here's a new engine.
Yeah. So we got a new engine in it. It was almost like getting a new car.
Yeah.
When you get your import permit, and we came in and did our canje, then we had to go back to the aduana at the airport and get the tip extended so that it matches up with the expiration of our residency. Then when we renewed our residency for 3 years, we were in Progreso at that time, and we had to go out on the pier, a 4-mile long pier, to that aduana to have the tip extended again. so that it matches up with the expiration of the residency. And I don't know if you heard this earlier, Mark mentioned this because this was an important lesson. The tip is in only one person's name. So whoever is driving the car the most should probably get the tip in their name, because that person is the one who's likely going to always have their driver's license and stuff with them.
Logic says.
I got the tip. It was my car, technically. I mean, it was in both of our names, but it was literally the vehicle I drove. And so we were at the border, and he had to go use the facilities, and I'm in line with Ernie. So I got the tip in my name. But Mark has been doing most of the driving, and I don't always carry a driver's license with me. I mean, I don't even like carrying a purse. So most of the time I don't have my purse with me. And we did get pulled over in Huatuco by a traffic policeman. Here's another bit of information. The only people, according to Mexican law, that are supposed to be allowed to ask to see your tip, and you must honor it, are the National Guard. And this was a local traffic cop, and he wanted to see the tip. I didn't have to show it to him, but why?
Well, what?
Whatever.
We're going to say no and then create a bigger headache.
Right. So
I mean,
I did show it to him, but it's in my name. So the next thing he asked for naturally was my driver's license. Well, I'm in the passenger seat and I wasn't driving, and I don't have my purse with me. So he was going to write a ticket, and then he ended up letting us go. But that's something you need to know. If you have a tip, you need to be the one that's driving the car most of the time.
or at least be a person.
You have to be in the car, but you have to have your ID to show that you're the person.
Right.
So, yep. Oh gosh, Wilfredo. Dolores Hidalgo has nice churros too. The pulqueria and the ice cream place are next to each other. You know what, Wilfredo? I finally had pulque when we went to Cholula.
Yes.
And it was good. I understand now the sliminess. Yes, it had a bit of a thickened, slimier texture, but it was still really good. It reminded me literally of kombucha, to be honest. It had that kind of fermented smell.
Well,
It was good.
And you love the helado up there.
Oh, I love the helado.
It only took her 2 trips to figure out how to say helado.
Yeah, I struggled with that word so bad. It just wouldn't stick with me.
It just was one of those. Was like
I had mole
cerveza
and cerveza, and I always get mango with chili.
Yep.
You know,
Mango chili.
I like mango chili anyway. I like to snack on them, but I don't like beer. And cerveza ice cream was really good. And what do we do for exercise? Are you afraid of how your health may be affected as you get older? Okay, well, exercise, we walk more than we used to in the US when we can. We are in a location right now where probably the only walking we will do is maybe to walk down to the Chinese restaurant or
the Pizza Hut.
A couple of these little shops down the road. We're too far away from Centro and stuff, and really much of anything else that's developed to walk. But when we were in Oaxaca, we only got our car out one time in 3 months. We walked everywhere.
Huatuco. We walked.
We walked a lot in Huatuco.
We walked a lot in Puebla. We walked a lot in Merida.
Yeah.
We walked a lot in Progreso. I mean,
I lost like 15 pounds over the last 2 months without even trying. I'm working now. When I work a 40-hour week and I sit in front of the computer all day, and then I edit YouTube videos in the evening, I'm pretty much sitting down all day most of the week. And I did gain some weight the first year that happened. I gained some weight just sitting around a lot. But we eat better. Food's healthier, less preservatives. You can tell when you go to the store and you buy chicken wings.
oh, good Lord.
You know, chicken wings in the United States are huge. Chicken wings here are tiny. You know why? Because they're normal. They're not full of growth hormone and things like that. You know, a chicken leg here is, I mean, they're normal. They're small. You know, the beef The beef is not as good, not as flavorful, not as tender, but it's a different stock of cow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a different breed. So that might have something to do with it. They're leaner. And so that's probably that.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, we've got down here, I lost,
You lost about 15 pounds.
10 or 15
Yeah.
pounds, and it's pretty much stayed gone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been
Blood pressure's lower.
oh, good Lord.
Blood pressure's lower.
Well, you've had to quit. You don't even take medication for it anymore.
I take my medication, but maybe every other day. I'm not quite ready to totally cut off yet. And I may never be able to because I may just be genetically predisposed to hypertension, but it's better here. Blood sugar's better.
The whole
the
stress level goes away. And when the stress level goes away, you feel better. And, walking a little more, and the whole internal angst is gone. And I tell you what, that makes a huge difference in how healthy you can be.
And you can buy medications here. Maybe let's say you're overweight and you've been wanting to try something like Wegovy or Ozempic, for example. Well, unless you're rich, you can't afford that stuff in the United States. You can here. It's less than half, maybe a third of what it costs there if you wanted to. So that's something you could do to help lose weight if you wanted. But honestly, just eating better and just walking. That's all you really need. And I don't do anything else. I do stretches. I try to keep my flexibility.
Mm-hmm. You're more flexible than I am, but of course you're younger than I am. That
as far as we get older, I've said this before. I don't know if I still feel this, but I was starting to feel the pressure of my age coming on to me because there's only 3 people in my entire family, both my mom and dad's family, who ever made it past the age of 60. Everybody else died before that. Some of them didn't even get to 60. My mom and 2 great-grandmas were the only ones that ever did. And I was in my early 50s, and I did not want to work until I die. I'm like, I feel like I have a healthier lifestyle here.
You're happier.
I'm happier here. I'm healthier here. And I don't have that feeling that this horrible weight is on my shoulders that, I'm not going to see 60. I'm going to die before I get a chance to retire. I don't feel that anymore.
No.
But I have a lot less stress now as well. And I just think the healthier food and stuff is just another contributing factor to being able to live longer and not be in fear of what's going to kill me next. So
I think it realistically, majority of it is the lack of stress. You hit the border, and when you hit the border, you leave the shit there. I mean, literally, all the angst, all the political, all the other stuff, boom, goodbye, it's done. And if you do that and you turn off the damn news, you're suddenly going, and I say that, and I was a news junkie in the States, and it's like, bye. And both of us have felt immensely better.
Yeah.
Without having to hear that 24/7. If you're this way, you're wrong. If you're that way, you're wrong. You know what?
Okay.
You're not wrong.
We're not wrong. So how long have we been married? We have kids. Are they our kids? Okay, so we do have 3 daughters between us. 2 of them are mine. 2 of them are his. They're all.
Really?
I'm sorry. One of them is his. Sorry. So 2 of them are mine. One of them is his.
Shit, there's one I don't know about.
We have 2 granddaughters. And see, I'm trying to think. Rhiannon. Yes, I named a daughter after a Fleetwood Mac song. Rhiannon is 36. 35. She was born in 88.
2 years older.
December 88.
2 years older than Kate.
you know, and then
Kate's 33 and Lexi is 28.
God, she is 28, 4 years after college now. Dang. Anyway, yeah. So they're all grown and they all have their own lives. They're doing the adulting thing. And
Really?
well, we're not going to get into that.
I know.
Some of them have struggled along the way,
Some
but they are making strides.
Some of them have had heavier topes in their life
This is
path
true.
than others.
How do they feel about us being here? I think for the most part, they are fine with it. The thing is we never really saw them that regularly anyway. And so we stay in touch just like we always have, mostly through digital means. Trying to get one of them to come down to visit.
I think that whether they agree with it or not, they all have the mental position of going, if any two people were going to do it, it would be the two of you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between whether they accept it or whether they like it, or they go, yeah, that would be something that the two of them would do. Because I can see two of them sort of going, life would be a hell of a lot easier for me if I could dump kids off and da 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 da. Because, sorry, who they are. And one when we told her was just like, really, no lie. Yeah, if anybody's gonna do it, it's y'all. I mean, so.
And we were together for how many years before we got married? Was it 8?
7, 8. Yeah.
We were together for 8 years. And then one day we flew off to Vegas and got married in a Vegas.
No. It wasn't one day because we flew all the girls out there.
No, I know, but we planned it. We planned it.
It was planned.
We flew out to Vegas, and I wanted to have a nice. I wanted to have a cheesy Vegas wedding with a Tom Jones impersonator, the whole thing. I thought it would be a lot of fun to walk down the aisle to She's a Lady and just have fun with it. And we were trying to get his mom to come. She's not a big Vegas fan. I was like, well, maybe we should try something a little more traditional. So we bought this big wedding package, rented a gown, rented the tux. Mm-hmm. We got married by a guy who looked like Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller. Not intentional.
No.
We had no idea that he looked like
we'd never seen the guy. It was like
he looks like a miniature version of Penn Jillette.
And the weird part is the night before, we'd been at the Penn and Teller show.
Yeah. And
it was like
Penn Jillette's like a Sasquatch. He's huge. He's like 6.5 feet tall or something. But we were at the Bellagio fountains. I had Etta James at last picked out as our music. And then
be a lady tonight.
And then the fountain show started, and it was Frank Sinatra. And
Frankie,
luck be a lady tonight. And I'm not real thrilled that my wedding was being conducted over his words of, lady blowing on another guy's dice and stuff, just whatever. But it was a pretty wedding, and it was nice. And I got to fly my mom and her husband from Oklahoma out there, and all of our daughters, and it was cool.
Yeah, I mean,
that was April
4/4/47.
So we've been married since 2007, but we were together 8 years before that.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've been together a while. Mother-in-law's family is from Dolores. Luis is going there tomorrow to buy more tile for our house. Oh man.
Talavera.
The tile, yeah. That place is just so much fun. All right. Well, let me get this last one, guys, and we're going to call it because it's almost 3.5 hours. And I've got things to cook for our special dinner this week. And I haven't even been to bed yet. And I got to get up at 5:30 or 6. So let's do this. I'm Mexican-American. I am a professor and speak fluent Spanish. Awesome. My wife is Mexican-American, 5th generation, so little Spanish, working on my dual citizenship. Are you returning to the USA? Well, for visits, but not to permanently live. Our plan is to definitely get permanent residence after this temporary residency runs out. We did renew for 3 years last year, so we got 2 more years to go. We're going to get permanent residence, but we do have family and we do have friends and we do visit them. We're going to do a family reunion this coming summer. So in Michigan. So
returning? No.
We're not going to return to return. No, we're done.
No, there is no way in either of our lifetimes that the change that is required is going to occur.
No. In fact, if I do return to again, it'll be to visit friends and stuff. I would probably also return if I'm working on my Italian citizenship. See, I can get dual citizenship in Italy based on my heritage. And I was going to pursue that before COVID hit and things got side-railed. But I think it's always good to have a strong passport and, a second passport like that. And I think that it'd be really cool to go and meet some of my distant cousins that I've never met before.
And we were actually planning on that. Then all of a sudden COVID hit and going to Italy in the midst of COVID, that was the last place that anybody wanted to go. But
I think it would be really fun just to put my name, my dad's name, my children's names in the family registry in the commune where my family came from.
And as far as dual citizenship, I don't think we would ever do that.
Well, I would automatically if I had Italian.
I'm talking about here in Mexico.
Oh, no, we wouldn't do dual citizenship.
No, first of all, we don't know enough about what's going on politically to be able to cast an intelligent vote. And
we both feel strongly that if you're going to be involved in politics and voting, you should at least understand the ramifications of your vote.
Whether it's dog catcher to president, know what you're doing, because what you're doing has an effect. And so, one of the things we look at is we're just sort of trying to assimilate and fit in and enjoy
and learn
here in Mexico. And do we want to try and change? No. You know what? We're going to leave that to the people who have made this wonderful country, not us.
Yeah, we're just here as guests, and we should remain as guests as far as we're concerned. So, we'll be residents for as long as Mexico allows us to be residents, but we're not going to try to get citizenship.
Nope.
And we're not returning to the United States to live. Something incredible would have to happen for the better to even make us consider it. So.
And I don't see that happening anytime soon. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But I might get my dual citizenship in Italy just because I can.
Okay, that one I understand. But,
yeah.
Because that's a strong passport that we can do things in Europe. But
all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much. This is such a long live tonight at 3.5 hours. That's just insane.
Is it really?
It has been.
Holy crap.
3.5 hours. I know.
I thought you were setting an alarm.
I know. Okay. I wanted to end at 8, but we just were on a roll. So I'm going to have to go over there and try to get some stuff done. So we're going to say goodnight. We want to thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm just going to make sure there's no other comments that I'm missing. There's a few. Politics suck.
Yes.
I love you. I love not hearing the news. You are absolutely right. And thank you. Thank you, JH and Diana. And thank you, everyone. Wilfredo, we will be meeting up with you soon enough.
Yes.
We have got time and we're looking forward to it. So everyone, please.
Have a very good holiday season. Yes. Be safe. And most of all, be happy.
Be happy.
Enjoy it.
Yes. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad. Wonderful.
Happy Hanukkah.
All those things. Kwanzaa. All the good stuff.
And Festivus for the rest of us.
Air your grievances.
That's it.
All right, guys. Ciao. Adios.
We'll see you in 2025.